Hey guys, how
What's
are
up?
you doing? Welcome to the live stream. I'm Ja, and today I have Peter
Yes,
with me.
I'm back.
Yeah, it's been a while since you've been
It has, yeah,
behind the camera.
yeah. So we're gonna change that soon. I think I think they're kicking me out front of the camera. That is,
Right.
To also host some live streams in the coming
So in the coming times, huh?
time. Correct. Yeah.
All right. So today, what are we going to do, guys? You probably already know all the monitors in front of me. So, yeah, what are we going to cover today is I will go over the models one by one. We'll talk about what kind of specifications and what kind of monitor is meant for what kind of gamers. Maybe this will suit you better. Maybe that one suits you better. So we'll get into the ins and outs of all the differences and the purposes of the monitors. And of course, we also have a giveaway, which is Valhalla. So we have many Assassin's Creed Valhalla game codes to be given away today. So make sure to tune in to msi.com/2/insider or keep an eye out on the chat because we have a bot that distributes the direct link to the giveaway every 5 minutes. I believe we do this on Twitch and YouTube. So also for the best experience, make sure to go to our YouTube channel and watch our live stream there. And make sure to also check out our loyalty bonus because we have introduced this, I believe, like 2-3 weeks ago, right?
No, a bit longer. I think it's
A bit longer?
maybe almost 2 months now. But yeah,
Right. Time flew by.
it does. It does.
Yeah, and we have actually seen quite a few winners who have won something. One guy even a Intel Core i9-10900K by using the loyalty bonus. I'm not saying that you will have more chance at winning. I'm just saying it will definitely make your chance bigger.
Yeah, you do actually. It does literally increase your chance of winning because you just get more. More points into the draw, basically. So, and the way it works is if you have been watching streams for a long time or in the past, it will add those up and remember that when you at least participate in the giveaway. And if you've done that multiple times, it already starts from the second time that you watch, I think, that you can claim a loyalty bonus, which is basically just adding another point into the mix, adding to your chances. And the more you've watched in the past, the more loyalty points you can spend into the draw.
Yeah, definitely go participate today because like I said, many codes.
Yes.
And at the end of the live stream, we will also, of course, have a little bit of fun and go into the Viking world and play a little bit of Assassin's Creed Valhalla myself. I'm sure you guys are going to give me a lot of tips because I'm still relatively new to the game, but that's for later. All right.
Let's first get into the monitors.
Exactly. So, MSI, we have come a long way when it comes to gaming monitors. At first, we've been heavily focused on curved gaming monitors, and we've built up a lot of expertise in the past 2-3 years. And we have achieved some milestones. We quickly passed the 1 million pieces sales. I believe almost 2 years ago. So we're well on track, and we have been pushing out quite some models in the past 2 years, and especially now with many more models in eSports. So you have probably seen many models which are flat. So that's also today's topic, the flat gaming monitors. So a lot of them are meant for the eSports world. So if you are a competitive gamer, definitely make sure to stay on the stream. But we also have the ones, that can be used for both worlds, for AAA titles that you love, for esports. So, we have a lot to cover today, and we'll go through them one by one. So with all the expertise we built up throughout the years, we definitely kind of listened to you guys and heard what the needs are, what you guys are looking for. So yeah, that's why we have now there's so many models that kind of just suits for everybody out there. There's a model available, and that's what we're going to do today.
Yeah, so there should be something for you in there, and I mean, still, we don't get us wrong. We still also sell curved monitors, of course, but today we're focusing on the flat monitors. I'm also trying to keep an eye on the chat, of course. So if you guys have any questions, any specific ones, let us know. Yeah. I do see some questions about, Shivam is asking if there's any 4K 144 hertz HDMI 2.1 HDMI AMD FreeSync Premium Pro monitor coming.
That is a mouthful, right?
Yes, and we, you know, some things we cannot really tell you about. However, later on in this stream, Ja is going to tell you about a monitor that's coming up, but unfortunately not one that you just mentioned.
No, unfortunately not.
But who knows? I mean,
but who knows?
2021 just started, so it's early in the year.
Is still long.
There's still a lot to come.
Okay. Any more questions maybe for now? Maybe I didn't mention this, but anyone that's new, you know, drop your comments or your question or anything statement in the chat. We'll try to pick them out the best we can, because we're monitoring a lot of many platforms. We're looking at Periscope or Facebook. We have Twitch. We have the YouTube chat.
Yep.
So we'll try our best to keep up with you guys.
Sebastian is asking what our main streaming channel is. Well, Ja just kind of answered it. I think mostly YouTube is also the most recommended one, because there you can be sure that the link to the giveaway, for example, is always pasted in the chat. Some other platforms, apart from Twitch is also pretty good, but the other platforms sometimes could block URL. So we generally recommend YouTube for the best viewing experience.
Yeah. So the Bastard just asked, is there a giveaway today? Definitely. Just watch this badass Viking right here.
Yeah, you can win the game. I mean, one of the monitors, or both monitors, are actually blocking the URL.
Yeah, but they're going to be gone like very soon.
Yes, exactly. And like Ja said earlier as well, the link should be spammed in the chat every now and again by our bot. If not, let us know. Then we'll check it out and see, because the bot sometimes has issues. Anyway. We want to make sure that you guys have every chance of winning.
Yes. So you know, it's not just about, you know, what kind of monitor fits you best or anything like that. Maybe you're not even looking for a monitor at all, but you know, you can still, you know, gain some knowledge. You know something that you didn't know before, or ask us any question that you always wanted to ask someone. But you know, nowadays it's difficult to get someone to answer a question on social media, right? Because there's so many people. So you know, grab your chance doing this live stream. And let's have some fun, huh? So in front of me, I have 3 models, which, well, I will go through them one by one, but like 2 of them are mainly for eSports. But with that said, of course, it doesn't mean that you cannot play any other games on it. Definitely you can. But when I say eSport, what I mean is that they have a really, really high refresh rate. So 240 hertz refresh rate. And one of them, so the biggest one right here is the 27-inch, the MAG 274 QRF QD. So with this one, you have really the best color accuracy, but more details in, of course, later. Right now, I'm just briefly introducing, you know, what models I have in front of me and what you can expect today. So with this one, you can play all your AAA titles, enjoy the best color accuracy and realism, and still have a very high refresh rate, which is 165 hertz. And if you're really more into eSport, you're really, you know, you have the competitive heart deep within, just like me, because right now I still, on a weekly basis, almost a daily basis, die hard CSGO all the way. And there I really want to have the best refresh rate paired with the highest hertz, I mean FPS. So in those kind of cases, you're really looking at these kind of gaming monitors where eSports is really the main focus. So we have here the GSync model, we have the NXT252R, and we have the FreeSync model, which is also GSync compatible, so it has the official certification for GSync compatible. So we have here the MAG251RX, both having 240 hertz refresh rate. So what the differences are, I'll also explain to you guys later, and also in the series of, in this case, the 27 QRF QD, we have more models lined up for you guys. So if this one is like not to your liking, there are 3 more models in the same lineup that I'm going to show you later, which might suit you better. So you know, this can be anything. Maybe you're not looking for such a high refresh rate, or you know, the color accuracy is for you like way too high. I'm just making the reasons right because
I see a couple of questions about the panels as well. For example, Cheese Bella was saying that we always tend to use VA panels, and when can they expect IPS panels? I think that's already something that Ja will address because he's going to cover those monitors one by one in a bit.
Definitely.
And that's one of the things I think he'll talk about, and you'll be happy to know that I think VA is less common then, because I get the feeling that you are looking forward a bit more to IPS.
So I can already tell you two of the three right here.
Yes,
is IPS based.
Exactly. There you go.
I'm gonna say which one yet, but you'll find out.
And that will also answer Foxcore's question about with what matrix are the monitors TN and IPS. AU Optronics or something. I'm not sure if we can go that deep, but at least we will talk about the panels a bit more. So you'll get some information about that. Do those panels have HDR 600 plus certification? Or that's also something that Ja will go into.
All the details, the features, HDR, and all the good stuff.
FreeSync,
will all come
GSync.
right after I take some off the table, so I can deep dive.
Yes. Right. So for all of the answers to those questions, sit tight. You're gonna get them.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna make some space so I can do a deep dive, get you guys more information regarding what we're talking about today.
This is the part that most viewers love, right? Watching Ja lift stuff off or onto. Yeah, exactly. Onto the table.
It's kind of expensive to drop, so I'd be really careful.
Yeah. What about power consumptions? Ooh, that's interesting. I'm not sure if we will have some data on that.
Yeah, I have some data, but I don't know this by heart for every model.
Yeah.
I know that for in front of me, this one consumes like around 30 watt on the peak brightness. But for the rest, of course, we can look it up for you.
I was going to say, is this data something that they can also find on our website? Per
you can go to the webpage and look up the model name and
go to specifications, probably.
And then all the way at the bottom, you can see what the power consumption is.
Yeah.
Well,
so if you really want to know, that's where you can find it. Yes. Normally, that's not a question we get very often, is it? Mostly it's like, how good is the display, how fast, what's the gray response for that kind of stuff.
Exactly. With monitors, it's not an everyday question.
Nonetheless, it's a good one.
Yeah, so. The guy is definitely very power conscious.
It is. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just, we're not used to seeing that question that much when it comes to monitors.
Yeah.
Is Ja going to open up or attempted murder of the monitors? Not sure. I don't think we're in the Netherlands and we're not allowed to have firearms. We did have a stream a long time ago where we covered a story where an MSI monitor actually stopped a bullet.
We actually had that guy on the live stream as well. Sharing his story. It was quite crazy.
Maybe at some point we can do some crazy stuff, see what else it can start. Actually, I think during that stream we did something like that. But people got upset because monitors could get damaged or hurt, and they were like, if you're gonna damage them, why not just give them away? So
yeah.
Anyway.
But don't worry. Very soon I'm going to demontage at least the backside, the foot, and stuff like that. So
yes,
still some action going on.
All right. Well, go ahead.
Cool. If I miss any questions, I'll just leave that to Peter. So
I'll try to call him out. But if you see any, you can see the screen as well. If you see anyone that you think are good to address, because at any point during your story you think it adds something, just call them out and let's see what happens. What's the first one?
Yeah. So okay. Before that, just let's get this out of the way. Someone's saying, "What is that grenade thing?" Like you mentioned, it is an actual grenade. So.
I think Ja wants to go out, end this stream with a bang. No,
exactly. So, when I'm thirsty, I tend to just drink out of my grenade. So
yeah.
Many of you guys already know this.
Cups are too mainstream for Ja.
Yeah, I like to live dangerously.
Yeah.
Okay, so cool. All jokes aside, in front of me we have the first one of today, which is the MAG. So our Arsenal gaming series. We have also the MPG, the performance, and then we have the MEG, the enthusiast. So this one is the MAG 251 RX, meaning the 25 inches, and the one is the first generation. This is the one. I'm going to show you guys like the, what it looks like from the outside and a little bit the aesthetics in general. So as you can see here, most of you who make use of VESA already recognize we have here a standard size 10x10 VESA mount. So if you take this off, you can put this on the wall or any arms that you like.
Yep. Also great if you have a multiple monitor setup for the, by the way, because then you tend to see those multiple monitor mounts. So that's great for that.
So as you can see, quite flexible for the viewing angle. Now if you want to adjust height, this is what you can expect.
Yeah, quite a big distance. And this is really important. I mean, a lot of people, including ourselves, we work from home now a lot. A lot of people might be doing that, so spending a lot of time in your home setup, which normally you might spend a couple of hours gaming. But having the correct height, so just what Jao was showing you there, can really make a big difference. Because if you're constantly sitting with your head tilted down because your monitor is too low, you're going to have neck and back problems. So this kind of flexibility in the stand of the monitor really adds to the comfort as well. Which is something that not a lot of people I've noticed actually use or tend to use. They don't really pay attention to it.
Back in the days when I was younger, I also kind of didn't pay attention to this. And then, after a few years have passed, you'd be like, my neck's starting to, after 2 hours
Are you saying
session.
or suggesting that you're old?
No. I mean, this started like back in the days already. Like, I'm not old yet. Actually, I just turned 30 this year, like 1.5 weeks ago. So I guess I am getting old. Yeah.
It started, dude. There's no going back now.
Soon the dad joke's gonna come out.
Yeah.
All right. So if we take a closer look at the model, let's first just address this little attention-grabbing button. So if we then go to the other, so here we have the 5-way joystick. With this one you can, let me just show you on the front what this does. So you can press it, you can use left, right, up, down, and each will activate a specific function. Other way. So here is your OSD.
So this is built into the monitor. That's also why we can't capture it. This is just showing on the monitor.
So you have shortcuts. So if you don't press it, if you just go like press left or right, instead of just pressing it down, it will activate specific functions. This later you can also customize. I will also show you how, so you don't have to go into your settings every time you want to activate a specific setting. If you want to change your input or maybe activate a specific setting, for example, here you have some alarms. Here's input. You go up. You have the game mode, so here you can activate your own game modes. I will also show you in the software what this means, because each game mode has its own properties as to the screen property. As you can see here,
presets. Yeah.
You see that it's changing based on what kind of gaming profile you're currently on.
And spoiler alert, it's not just the color settings.
No. So there are many more settings when it comes to sharpness, contrast, our night vision feature, or anything that you want to tailor make, you can. I will also show you this later in the software how you can do this, because this are all the pre-mates. You can also customize it for, well, all of your favorite games. So that's the 5-way joystick. Now, if you don't want to use the joystick, you don't have to. You can also use our gaming OSD 2.0
because it can be difficult, right? If you're sitting there gaming and you have to reach behind your monitor to a joystick, which you kind of know where it is, but you still it's a bit it can be a bit difficult to find it sometimes. There is a workaround for you. People are also asking, by the way, Ja, about the way that you can move the monitor. Is that one tiltable, as in can you, rotatable? Can you turn it vertically?
No. This one you cannot rotate.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure people get the question to that.
So if you're wondering about the I/O here, nothing spectacular going on. We have USB upstream, so you want to use the USB hub, which is on this side. I'll show you in just a moment. And then you have your one display port and 2 HDMI's with, of course, the headphone jack.
But also a Type-C connector, I see.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so here you see on the side panel 3 USB 3s. Now, if you want to use this, you got to make sure that you have plugged into your USB hub upstream.
So basically, you can, for example, plug in your mouse, your headset, your keyboard into your monitor, so you don't have to run the cables all the way to your PC.
Whatever it is you like, you can also plug in your USB sticks if you want to transfer some files quickly.
Or your phone to charge it.
Yeah. And of course, if you want to win games, this is what you need to have, right? Because nowadays, everybody's be like, RGB is
what wins games and
exactly
what creates speed. Everybody knows that.
You're right. This is the definition of pay to win.
It's like the worst kept secret in the biz.
Yes. So right now the USB strip here is on the rainbow mode, of course. If you don't like rainbow, you can change this. You can set this to a static color. You can customize this. I will also show you this in the software, how you can do this. So,
Sebastian, the people thought apparently that you could rotate the monitor because it didn't look quite right. But if you look at it, it's the perspective of the camera that's probably throwing it off a bit. But trust me, the monitor is centered and aligned. So
wait, I'm confused.
Well, he thought you could rotate it because it looked a bit like the panel was not straight in there. Like,
that's also because the backside is not like flat.
Yeah,
it has like curvatures.
There's certain shapes in there which kind of throws off the visual angle of the perspective. So, but it is horizontal and straight as an arrow. Anyway, just getting that out of the way.
All right. So if you guys have any more questions regarding the exterior, let me know. I'll happily get up for you and show you something once again.
How many volts is the adapter? I think this is something you can find on the website. So if you want to know about that, you can go find the MAG251RX on the MSI.com product page, and there you'll find some tabs. One of them will be specifications. Scroll down, and it should state it there. I mean, but this kind of detail is a bit much maybe to cover it during the live stream.
Okay, cool. So that was for the exterior of the MAG251RX. So as you can see also here
at the bottom,
if you just tune in, you missed out some of the explanations. Just take a look there, and you will see most of it, the most important features and specs.
What cables does it support? I believe it had one display port,
and 2 HDMIs.
Connector, 2 HDMI, and 1 Type-C. And it does have an integrated USB hub, as Ja also just showed, with 3 out. Yep. Can I place this monitor on a wall? Yes. It has a VESA mount. I think it's VESA 100, right? That's 10 centimeters.
10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, yes.
There you go. So yes, it will be compatible with most mountings. Just make sure you check it.
Okay, someone is asking about the nits. I was actually just going to talk about this in a few seconds, but it's 400 nits.
All right.
I think then I can get into the interior. So the specifics of the monitor, the features and specs. And for this, I have some just a few slides for you lined up, so you have a good overview, and you can also see this for yourself. You don't have to just listen to me.
And here they are.
I see I have to change this a little.
Oh, maybe try that again.
Yeah, try it again.
Oh, wait, you have multiple monitors connected, right?
Yeah, right. Oh, wait, yeah, let me unplug the other one.
Maybe disconnect one. It's probably showing it on the other monitor.
Okay, so PC screen only. All right.
There we go.
There we go.
Looking good.
Now here I have already put all of its main features and some specifications in the overview. So like I said before, this is really an eSports monitor. So, but this doesn't mean that you cannot play your favorite AAA title game if it's like Assassin's Creed Valhalla or Watch Dogs Legion or Cyberpunk, you name it. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that its best feature is like coupled with eSport games because of its 240 Hz refresh rate. Because there, usually, with Rainbow Six Siege, you have like an average with a capable GPU and CPU around 180, even reaching 200 FPS. With an old game like CS:GO, you can already reach like 400, 500 FPS. So, Valorant and all these similar games, the same story. So that's really where this monitor will shine, because it will give you, the high FPS will be displayed here. You will feel, the high FPS. So because if you have a high FPS output and your monitor is low on refresh rate, then yeah, you will have a low latency, but that doesn't mean that you're going to have a very smooth gaming experience. And that's why this one is really tailored for esports. And this one is also GSync compatible, so it's officially certified by NVIDIA. So in their ranking, you have the GSync compatible, you have GSync, you have GSync Ultimate. So this one is GSync compatible. So its original variable sync is FreeSync, but it passed the certification for GSync compatible. So if you have a GSync, NVIDIA GPU that can handle GSync compatible, you can couple these two and still use this variable sync. So I don't think I need to tell you guys what this means, right? So if you have like a mismatch between your FPS and your refresh rate, then you will have stuttering, just screen tearing and stuff like that. And if you are using variable sync, this problem will be eliminated, given that it's within the refresh rate range.
Yes.
So somebody already asked, what about HDR? So the MAG251RX has HDR. It's not the basic HDR10 or HDR Ready. It's the HDR 400. So here, definitely you can have a very good time, enjoy HDR content if that's what you're after, or HDR games and stuff like that. You have the capability here. Now, what's the question?
Yeah. I mean, somebody's just asking about what's different between the rapid IPS panel and standard IPS, but I think you're getting to that.
Okay.
So I was going to say that's coming up next.
Cool. I see many people are dropping in the chat right now. Yep. There was a question regarding this, but yeah, it'll be addressed in just a second. So this one is also a rapid IPS panel. So compared to the traditional one, this one, the crystal liquid within the screen, it actually rotates 4 times faster than the normal ones. So this will give you a better experience whenever it comes to ghosting and blur. So when it's like in high motion, this will make sure that it's going to perform better than the traditional IPS. So that's the rapid IPS. Really, the rotation of the crystal fluid is so rapid. That's why it's called rapid IPS. So like I have indicated very prominently, 240 Hz refresh rate, giving you the competitive advantage if given your GPU can have a high enough FPS output to match it. Because I understand that when I was noob, more than a decade ago, when I didn't really understand all the new hardware specifications, stuff like that, I always imagined if I just get the best hardware, I'll be done. Done in a sense of, you're complete. You can continue, you can win. But what you miss out on is that you don't get the full picture. So what I mean here is that if you have a 240 Hz refresh rate monitor, it doesn't mean that, any computer that you, or desktop, you connected with, any game that you play will have this 240 Hz refresh rate benefit, because your GPU needs to be able to push out FPS high enough to match it. So your FPS count, it's literally like the counterpart for the hertz. So the FPS, if you have like 200 FPS, then you're already close to enjoying the full benefit of the 240 Hz. If you have 240 FPS and plus, then you're really fully benefiting from this high refresh rate gaming monitor, which in turn will give you the benefit of having a really smooth gaming experience.
And most competitive titles, I'm talking about games like League of Legends, Counter-Strike Source, Strike damn, that's a long time
It still
ago.
exists.
That one will definitely run smooth on pretty much any PC by now, but you get what I'm saying. Most of the really competitive titles are not too graphically intensive, and if you are really a competitive player, you will probably tune down the game settings anyway, the graphical settings, which means you prioritize high FPS, which then syncs up with the high refresh rate and gives you a much smoother experience in return for perhaps a bit less good looking visuals in the game. But that is what gives you the competitive edge. But yeah, what we're going for is that this monitor really prioritizes all the competitive advantages you can have and you can get. That's what it prioritizes it for, and so that's what you get. You get the fastest response rate, the most fluid experience in the game, which helps you in competitive situations.
So I see True Gopnik was asking, is night vision the same as low blue light? Well, it's not. I understand why you're asking this, because it's night and it's vision, so maybe it's better for night. No, actually this stands for night vision, as in seeing better during nighttime, night vision. So it's not the same as the low blue light, because I mean 99% of all gaming monitors all have the low blue light emitting filter. So the blue light is being artificially well, not eliminated, but reduced, so your eyes will have less fatigue after having used the screen for a long time. And this will also in turn disturb your circadian rhythm less. But night vision really means, I'll get into this later, because I actually have a visual for this for you guys so you can see better. But what it comes down to is that when you have games, you know, especially in AAA types of games, some competitive games also, you have some really dark areas. And what you really want to have is that your monitor is able to enhance the image, well, the visual, your screen, the frame at that time, so the dark areas will be enhanced and become lighter without sacrificing the details or overblowing or over contrasting your overall image. So that's the traditional black equalizer. That's why this night vision is better, because the traditional ones, the black equalizer, they tend to overexpose your entire image, so it sort of just becomes white.
Yeah, washed out.
Yeah, very washed out, and you lose all the details and you know what you're actually trying to achieve. You're not getting it. So with night vision, this is like our artificial intelligence, which will smartly look at the dark areas and then expose the dark areas with details, and then leave all the highlighted and light areas alone. So that's what it is. Okay, so yeah, response time, really no issues with ghosting with the 1 millisecond response time, very fast. Nothing more to add. Then Gaming OSD app, I'll get into this in just a minute. I will show you all of its epicness, where for those of you, that love tuning and, playing around with the settings, you really have, the freedom to customize your gaming monitor to your liking. More on that later. So night vision already talked about, and of course here also with Type-C, you can use the Type-C either as a charging port for your mobile devices, or you can use it as a display port. So it's multifunctional. Now a little bit more specifications regarding the MAG251 RX. Well, here you have the table. Don't have to go them one by one, but I'll give you guys some time to read. In between, maybe we can already see if we have the first winner of today.
Of course, yeah, we can do that. I mean, it is nice because I already saw some people earlier asking about sRGB coverage. Well, that's some of the specs that are in here, so have a field day with that. In the meantime, indeed, I'm going to see if we can draw our first winner. Hope you guys are participating. You can go to msi.com/2/insider or click the link that's being spammed in the chat for on YouTube and Twitch at least. And the more actions you perform in participating, the more chance you have to win. Don't forget to claim your loyalty bonus if you are a regular viewer and you regularly participate in our giveaway.
That's definitely going to help.
Yep, it won't hurt your chances. And let's see. Ooh. Okay.
So yeah, we always use a randomizing system, which picks the winner. So we just press the button, draw winner, and it will randomly pick someone as the winner. And seems like we have today's first winner for Assassin's Creed Valhalla game code. And congratulations, Aotus.
Aotus. Congrats.
Aotus. I think I'm pronouncing it right.
I hope so.
Hope so. So congratulations. We will. I will contact you in the coming 2 days, and then I'll send you the game code to congratulate you guys. So yeah, of course, like I said, we have more codes coming up. So if you didn't win on this try, don't worry. If you have already registered, if you participated, you're still in the drawing pool for the coming draws. So there are still chances left for you to win the code. And if you just joined, if you haven't joined yet, if you just joined the live stream but didn't join the giveaway yet, you still have a chance to win. So you can still go to msi.com/2/insider and perform as many actions as you can, as you want. The more you do, the more chances you will have at winning one of the Valhalla game codes.
Yes.
So yeah, congrats Altus, and the rest of you guys, good luck. Maybe you'll be the next winner. All right. What is the link? So Clostera is asking on Twitch, what is the link? If you keep an eye out on the chat, you will see that about every 5 minutes, you will drop a direct link to the giveaway. That's where you have to go to participate. And if you're having issues seeing the link in the chat, maybe then you can also tell us this. Then maybe we can look into if there's an issue with the bot. Okay.
I will just post it once. Also, the direct link to the giveaway. Here you go.
So yeah, I hope you guys already went over all the specifications. I'm just going to highlight a few ones. So for example, the DCI-P3. So that's like the color palette on the spectrum. So we have a 84% coverage of the DCI-P3 and 107% of the sRGB, meaning this is relatively a very, very capable screen when it comes to representing the right colors, representing more colors, being vivid and realistic. So, like I said before, even with an eSport monitor like this, there's absolutely no problem for you to enjoy the lifelike visuals in AAA title games, the new games, Cyberpunk, stuff like that. With this kind of specification, you're going to have a very good time. Full HD and the rest I think we have already covered. Just a few more important stuff. Like I said, the refresh rate is of course something that's I have been nailing like very hard on this monitor. Like you have to really understand why it's important. Now, just in case I can understand that everybody really understands this or haven't really experienced what the difference really is or can be. So I hope with this little movie we can demonstrate what the differences are between, for example, a potato monitor, which is like 60 hertz,
which most of us had at some point when the flat monitors became a thing.
So what you're seeing here is literally like what it means when you have like a high enough FPS that can couple with the refresh rate. Is you are eliminating this like, it's not really stuttering, but it's not smooth. So you're squeezing in more frames per second. So that's why the more frames per second it can squeeze in, the smoother a animation, a movement is going to be, like you'll see on the screen. So you can imagine when you're spraying around with your gun in a FPS game, your screen is going to look terrible, right? And when you move around fast, left and right, you're trying to cover every angle. When you're walking around, your image, your frame is going to be blurred. It's not going to be sharp at those times. So that's really when high FPS and high refresh rate monitor come into play. They will make sure that this kind of choppy movement is going to be so much smoother. Because I remember when I went, like Peter also said, at some point everybody had a 60 hertz refresh rate monitor. I also did, and it took me quite a few years to upgrade to a 144 hertz refresh rate monitor. And I remember it felt like I was cheating. I was playing so well, my spray became so much easier, and when I move from left and right, I can see so much better. I can track a enemy so much better also.
Yeah.
So everything just felt like
you feel more confident when you. At least that was what it was for me as well. When I got that, I just felt more confident, like I can hit that shot, because for some reason you just feel more accurate, and it's not that anything else changes. It's just because it's so much smoother. You feel like you can be much more accurate because of that, and you just feel more confident that you're going to hit that shot if it comes to it. And so it's also a bit of a combination with mindset, but it does give you the confidence. At least in my case, that's the thing I noticed as well. Is it felt just way more smoother, and it just gave me the confidence. Like, whoa, I can hit shots that normally I find quite tricky, but now it's I can do that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And if you're like gaming like very long, if you're these kind of gamers, I think we've all been there, and maybe we all are somewhere deep in our hearts. During long sessions, it's also going to be so much more comfortable for you to enjoy your screen when your frames are so much smoother than like it's 60 FPS. Yeah. It's going to produce more fatigue for you when like everything is moving more in a choppy way.
Mukazem is asking, to get to that 240 hertz, do I have to use DisplayPort, or can HDMI also handle it? I think it depends on the connector, but also so the version, for example, older versions of HDMI might struggle with higher refresh rates.
1.2, it's going to be very difficult.
But in general, if you're playing up to full HD, most any DisplayPort in relatively recent HDMI should be able to handle it just fine. I mean, it's more at higher resolution, so if you want to do 1440p or even 4K at higher refresh rates, then you're going to potentially run into some limits, especially with older HDMI. But DisplayPort is usually a safe bet, yes.
So I just turned this on for you guys to go over one more time in case you missed it, because it just takes a second anyways. In the meantime, let's take a look at if there are any more questions.
How can we purchase any of these monitors? Go, or, well, I don't want to say go, because that's in some countries probably not really a thing anymore, but visit the website of your local retailers and check for them. Check to see which monitors they have. They might not have all of them in stock, but that's the thing that you do.
Yeah, so I also saw someone asking about the price. So for this one, I'm not going to say that this is going to cost the same in your region or country, but generally globally, like the retail price for this is around 500 US bucks or euros. So in your region, depending on some regulations or anything else,
VAT,
it can be higher, or if you're lucky, it can be lower. But that should be the general aim for it. Okay, so moving on to so night vision. What I mentioned earlier, I have a visual, so this is just to explain or give you a visual representation of what I meant. So usually in a normal situation, so on the left you see some areas. This is I believe Devil May Cry 5. Yeah, in that game I played it. Definitely a lot of these kind of dark areas, and what night vision will do is that you will transform them for more or less like the left side, which is dark, you can see quite hard. You will translate this into the middle part, instead of the traditional black tuner, which is on the right, which kind of just overexposes the entire frame. So that's what it does. And this is also something that you can like make a hotkey for. So if you want to activate this, you don't have to minimize the game or quit the game, or you would just go into the settings window, because right now you can just with one click behind with the joystick you can activate this, or you can just make a hotkey on your keyboard that will shortcut this activation. Okay, so far for the MAG 251RX, the exterior and interior, and now I'm going to show you guys, how the gaming OSD will work. This is really the golden baby when it comes to making the monitor really yours. Tailor this into your liking, highlight or shortcut all the features and stuff that you like.
Sebastian is asking, does night vision break immersion in some situations? I think, in horror games, it's really up to you. I mean, if you like the fact that you, for example, that some areas in the game are hard to see because they're way too dark, you can leave the feature off. So it's all down to you if you want to use it or not. It's not on by default. But this does give you the option in some games, for example. I mean, I've had the same in CSGO, that in some corners in competitive gaming, they can be so dark that it's actually hard to spot an enemy. Whereas if you use this feature, those areas will become a little bit brighter, so it's a little bit easier to see, while leaving the rest untouched. So it doesn't overexpose or make the rest overly bright that is going to hurt your eyes. So again, it's something that you can use, and it's a more intelligent way of making dark areas bright without overexposing the whole thing, making everything look bad. So this only targets the areas that are very dark and are missing detail, which normally you wouldn't see, but this brings it out.
Ton is saying, where is Lucky? Well, he is on the table with us.
Wait, there we go.
There you go. Peter has him.
It's right there.
Okay, so this is gaming OSD. Now, generally, what you really want to do here is, you can either use all the presets on the left side. So we have, for example, here FPS, first-person shooter, racing. We have some other types. So really, a lot of the presets that you can use, and if you want to enjoy HDR, it's the best that you go for the HDR preset, because here we already have tailored all the best settings for an HDR scenario. Now, what you really want to do here is make use of its capability and create your own profile. So instead of using the presets, you can create something that's tailor-made for all of your favorite games or just in general. So I'm just going to type, for example, what should I use here? Call of Duty Black Ops. And then you can already select one of the presets to use as a basis, as a template. You don't have to. I'm just going to add this like this. So you can see on the left side you have the preset, and here we have, I made this earlier, Call of Duty, we have CSGO, and each will have its own characteristics and settings. So like I said, you can make use of night vision either here in the app, or you can go into the app settings and really couple this with a hotkey or with the backside of the joystick. You can also try to do a little bit of overdrive, set your response time to fast or fastest. The opinions differ. Some people, they prefer the fastest because in some scenarios they really gives them the best benefit. And others will say like, no, fastest is just a little bit too extreme for me because sometimes there might be a little bit of like overshoot or undershoot. So there can be a little bit of ghosting because here you really like trying to overclock your monitor. But you can also go for other settings. There are many more for you to play around with, and color temperature. Here, adaptive sync. We have this. I'll also show you.
Oh, they don't see the mouse cursor, I think.
Oh, right,
so if
right.
you want,
Let me show the mouse cursor.
They do see buttons changing color, but yeah.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Capture mouse cursor. There we go. Now you see.
Yes. It's a bit easier for everybody to see, I think. Anyway.
So if you want to, well, this, for example, we have eye saver. If you're like using your gaming monitor at night and it's relatively dark, you don't want to fatigue yourself too much and disturb your circadian rhythm, so you'll have a harder time falling asleep because of all the blue light that makes your brain go active. You can go for eye saver, and then the screen will automatically like kind of eliminate most of all the blue lights that's being emitted. And if you really hate motion blur, you can even use the monitor's hardware, let's say a feature to eliminate this. I mean, most games already have this function, but this will enhance it even more.
I think motion blur is one of the most disabled options in the settings menu of games.
It's weird
like
that they still
ever.
have that option in there.
I honestly, I've yet to meet people or see game reviews that say, dude, I just love the motion, but you need to enable the motion blur. It just adds so much to the experience.
Yeah, holy crap.
Most people just say, just turn it off, because just no, just no.
The game is just not the same without motion blur.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
I mean, do you have motion blur in real life? Maybe we just don't perceive it.
No, I think my standard setting is like at 240 hertz, so no motion blur for me.
Depends on the time of day. In the morning, I'm running at like 30 hertz maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you what happens when you're... Now, if I just take an example, let's say do you guys play CSGO?
Yes.
Or Valorant? If you, in those games, if you're like, sniper, the one-shot, one-kill snipers, they're really, well, I'm not sure what it's called in Valorant, but in CSGO it's an AWP, but,
Scout.
They are really badass. They are the kind of guns that you want to play around and flick around and really show everybody, like, you're a Kenny ass or something like that. But the problem with that is it's going to be quite hard for you to really guess where your crosshair is. So the initial pre-aim before you scope in is going to be very important, because the far away you are from your target at the moment that you're zooming in, the harder it is going for you to hit the target once you are zoomed in.
I think you need to explain to people that if you're not zoomed in or scoped in those weapons, you don't see any crosshair. So you don't have a reference point of, other than, well, it's going to be in the middle of your monitor, but you don't have any reference point to pre-aim if you're not scoped in.
Mm-hmm. So what you then want to do is, if we change the camera angle, I can show you guys on screen, because this we cannot capture. It's a hardware overlay. So here, for example, you see a bunch of, well, preset crosshairs. So either in red or in white. So in these kind of cases, you can, for example, if I choose this one, then you see here, in the middle of the screen, let's do it like this, you can see better. Here you see a crosshair popping up. This is, you don't have to be afraid that your game will overwrite this, because this is literally like burned into your screen itself. I mean,
I can quickly switch to the capture again.
Yeah,
there,
see,
it's gone.
Here.
So it doesn't, like the game and your PC doesn't register it. It's really something done on a monitor hardware level. So even if you're streaming, for example, it won't show up, because again, this is streaming. So and Ja, maybe you can show it later on in if we're going to do some gameplay as well. It does not show up in the capture, but you will see it.
So if you don't like this, there are plenty more other options for you to go for. So etc. etc. Now, when you're in game, you don't have to go to the software itself to activate this every time, because that's what joystick comes in. Or even hotkeys, so you can activate this in-game whenever it is that you need it, and deactivate it whenever it is that you don't need it. All right? So, don't tell this to everyone, because this is secret. This is a secret between us, okay?
I like Sebastian's suggestion there. Just use a marker, draw the crosshair on your monitor. That's actually what some people, including me, have done in the past. We kind of, want to protect you guys from doing that, because in doing so, you might accidentally, damage your monitor or put a dot somewhere that you cannot get rid of.
It just doesn't look
so
neat.
This is just a way better better way of doing it if you want to do it. It's not really cheating. It's just it's giving you a little edge.
Yeah, definitely giving you an edge. So yeah, that's the smart crosshair. The crosshair assistance.
Yes.
Which you can activate also by using shortcuts. Now, I don't really see what I'm doing here because
back to the capture then.
Yeah,
you can turn it if you want.
So the screen assistance. Oh, let me put this
alarm
away.
clock. Yeah, this one's really useful if for example, you I don't know, you got an appointment at some time and you kind of don't want to forget about it. I mean, you can set an alarm on your phone, obviously, but sometimes a countdown on the screen it can be more useful, or for an event that's happening in game or something, or how long an ability lasts, or.
Yeah, and sometimes I also encounter situations in which my crosshair is kind of blending in with the environment. Like it's either the same contrast, or it's on the same brightness level, or even the same color. So in these kind of cases, it's also going to be, and especially in some specific maps, it's going to be quite a pain in the ass. Because I have noticed, I did die quite a few times because I kind of didn't really see where my crosshair was because of the environmental factors. So in these kind of situations, you can quickly switch over to this kind of stuff within like a second. You have the best visual of where your crosshair is, and make sure you get the headshot. Yeah, we have some more. You can also activate refresh rate, so you will show the refresh rate on your screen. Right now, again, you don't see this because this is the same. It's a hardware overlay.
Can we show it quickly? Maybe we shouldn't have switched to the. There we go. So there you go. Yeah.
Right here.
Can you toggle it off to see that? Then they'll see it disappear.
Let me try to do this.
Damn.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah. So as you can see now on the top left, it's gone, and now it's there again. Yeah. And that's the refresh rate, right? So it's not an FPS counter in the game.
No, it's a refresh rate.
Exactly.
When you have such a high refresh rate monitor, sometimes you gotta watch out for that it doesn't accidentally just jump back to, like, for example, 60 hertz because you did something, you connected a second monitor, or Windows updated, or anything, your settings got reset. Because I've encountered this quite a few times. Mid-game I was like, wait, why does everything feel so much different than before? And then I checked my refresh rate in settings, and then I noticed it jumped back to 60. So
sometimes it happens.
Yeah. So whenever it becomes choppy, just make sure to check if it's still like on the highest refresh rate.
But a really quick way of checking anyway is just pressing the middle button basically on the joystick on the back, because then it will give you an overview which also includes the current display refresh rate. So there's multiple ways of doing it, and yeah, you can choose.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you too much about this one, but split windows, it basically means that if you like multitasking, if you're like not gaming, you're like doing some work, or some entertainment, you're looking on Google regarding some useless facts, or some top 10 you didn't know about, and on the other hand, you're also listening to music, browsing some libraries. You use split windows, so you can quickly prearrange whatever it is that you are. Well, let me just grab something quickly. So as you can see, you don't have to drag and position yourself. Here you can just choose whatever setting it is that you like, and then everything will be arranged as you like.
This is great for productivity, by the way.
Oh, gone. So if you go to tools, we have even incorporated settings for your mouse and some settings for your keyboard. Well, this is more like an on-screen keyboard. So you can all find them here. If something is too little, you can use the magnifier here. So plenty of settings and features for you to play around with. If you're using projector or a second screen, something like that, all the settings, you can find them here. Now, when you go to settings, this is really where you can make your life easier. So yeah, here nothing really interesting to talk about, but can be useful for your specific scenario or situation, but that's up to you when you use it. But here we can, for example, activate hotkeys. And here you can see, for example, if you want to increase the brightness, you can set this to a specific hotkey, Shift, Control, plus maybe 10, something like that. If you want to have the screen assistance, which is this crosshair that we just showed you, you can, for example, just use Shift and then 2. So whenever you're in game, you need to really quickly, activate something. You just press Shift and 2, and boom, you're done, and you have the crosshair in front of you when you're using the op.
But this is just a toggle, right? So if you then press it again, it's gone again.
Off.
So it's a really quick way of doing it.
And if you want to activate a specific gaming profile that you created before, you don't have to go into the Gaming OSD app every single time, because you can also toggle this with a specific combination of hotkey. So, etc., a lot of stuff here
I see some Action Brother is asking, no hotkey for night vision. I'm not sure if that's indeed, I don't see a specific
night
one
vision
for that.
will come here, because night vision, you have to activate like using the joystick.
But can you not, for example, activate or include night vision as part of a preset profile?
Yes, you can.
So then you can still have the hotkey setting.
Exactly. So in specific profiles, you can choose to have night vision turned on.
Yes.
So whenever you choose the profile, it's on. So it depends on how you left night vision setting in a specific profile.
So if you want to do that, exactly. If you want to toggle night vision, for example, you just make 2 identical profiles, but the only difference being that in one you activate night vision and the other one you deactivate it. And so then you still have hotkeys for both profiles. So one with night vision on and the other with night vision off. Or Ja's now showing you a way that you can actually do it easier, or maybe even a bit faster.
Yeah, so here we have the joysticks, and you can also choose whatever it is that you like to have in a specific function of the joystick. Going up, we'll activate this, left for this, right for that. Yep. So plenty of settings for you to play around with in the Gaming OSD app, and this is really something that we have included in majority of our gaming monitors. Just something extra for you guys to have a better time gaming, to have just a little bit more competitive edge whenever you're playing. So if you guys have comments or feedback for us, let us know regarding the app, or if you have already used it, experience with it, let us know if you enjoyed it, or something is not working as you like. We'll always try to improve while listening to you guys whenever possible.
Marcel Macedo is asking, the all control is software or hardware? It's actually both. So that's what Ja just showed you. You can do it on a hardware level, so that's with the little red button at the back. You can access the menu, but we indeed also have a software version, which is called Gaming OSD, which Ja just showed, which enables you to do everything like control all those things and even a bit more options. But then you don't even have to touch the little red button at the back. You can do it all through your regular interface with your mouse. So it's whatever you prefer.
Exactly. So that'll be it for the MAG 251 RX, which is the 240 Hz refresh rate with a rapid IPS panel and GSync compatible certification.
Action Brother is saying, what a workaround. I think he's referring to the using the night vision, making 2 profiles. It means that you lose 1 profile because of this. Switching mid-game is going to be hard too. Actually, it requires only, you set the profile. I'm not sure, do we have a limit to how many profiles? Because I saw quite a few. I think you can create multiple custom profiles, so you don't necessarily lose one. And you still have plenty of custom profiles that you can create next to those 2. And you only need to just assign a hotkey to switch, or a combination to switch, basically. So in the end, switching mid-game is actually not going to be harder than switching your weapon in a game. That's pretty much how easy it is.
Yeah, so I see somebody asking regarding the weight. So it's like 7 kilograms gross weight. So the net weight is around 8.5-ish, 5.5 kilograms.
Is that with or without monitor stand? Because I'm trying to figure out why would you ask that, and the only scenario I can think of is if you want to put it on a wall mount or something, you want to make sure that it can handle the weight of the monitor.
So maybe he plays a lot of games with buddies and friends.
Maybe he wants to know if it's light enough so he can throw it.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. Anyway.
Cool. So if you guys do have any questions for the eSports MAG251 RX, drop them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to continue with the following model. And before that, we can also maybe draw the second winner.
Yeah, let's do that. So again, guys, if you want to participate in a giveaway, go to msi.com/2/insider or click the link, the direct Gleam link being spammed in the chat by our bot every now and again. The more actions you perform, the better your chance of winning. If you are a regular viewer and you participate regularly in our giveaways, you can also claim a loyalty bonus, which adds more points to your tally, which increases your chances of winning. However, the draw is still completely random. So yeah, best of luck to everybody. Let's draw our next winner. And again, today we are giving away a game code for Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Let us know where the Viking spirit of you is.
Okay. And I think we have our next winner, and I'm actually getting 2 nicknames, so I'm going to call them both out. But it's for the same person, just to be clear. The stated nickname is Mark B. Also, Anon2467. So congratulations on winning a game code. We'll get it out to you as soon as possible. And yeah, if you're still looking forward to winning one of the game codes, stick around. We've got some more to give away. So later on this stream, we will do that. Back to the monitors.
All right, next up is...
I see a question just before you start. I got a Death Wish, which anyway is a really nice name, but I don't hope sincerely you do. Do all of the MSI monitors use the same power brick? I can already tell you, no. Some of them might use a similar one, but if you're asking because you think, you know, maybe if I buy another monitor, I can just use the same one, we don't recommend that. So there's always, if you buy one of our products, there should always be a power brick, or well, let's just say, or a cable. Sometimes there's no brick even included. And we always recommend that you use the included cables or yeah, power supply, let's put it like that. So we wouldn't recommend you to just swap them out randomly. Anyway, okay.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Okay, so jumping on to the next awesome model is the MAG274 QRF, which is also the QD version, which stands for quantum dot. So what it means, I'll show you in just a minute. So this one, it's a little bit bigger compared to the one that I just showed you, the one that I still have right here. So this one is 25 inches and this one is 27. Hence why it is also called MAG, again, Arsenal Gaming 27 inches, 4, which means, you know, it's already the 4th generation in the MAG27 series. And yeah, if you have joined our live streams quite a few times, especially the monitor ones, you know that the Q will stand for Quad HD. The R will stand for RGB. Now the F1 is going to be a little bit different, but I'll show you in just a bit. But it has the adjustable stand. So I'm going to just briefly get you guys familiar with the outside, the exterior of the monitor. So as you can see already here, well, it's really flexible.
So you can rotate it quite a bit.
So the complete backside looks like this. So once again, you see the RGB shining right here. And if you don't like this effect, you can change this in the software later yourself. You can tune the areas, the regions to your liking. You can change the effects. And you can even turn it off if you don't like winning in games. So that's okay. And again, we have here the iconic red 5-way joystick, just like with that one. So turn this around a little bit, you can see the thickness of the monitor.
Yeah, it's quite slim, right?
the front side. Very clean, with the bezel-less design, with just one little chin on the bottom. So when it comes to the I/O, let me unplug these two cables so I have more moving room for you guys.
So left to right, DisplayPort, HDMI, two HDMI, one Type-C.
Type-C,
headphone jack.
You have the USB upstream, so if you want to make use of the USB hubs right here.
Yep.
You gotta make sure you plug in the USB upstream, and then we have
the power
supply.
supply.
The power connector.
And there's even on the very right side, there's a little hole there.
Yes.
Kensington lock, right?
Yes. So if you're well, moving around a lot with your monitor, you can make sure that you can lock your monitor up, so nobody is going to be up to no good. Now, I remember somebody asking regarding rotating the screen. Before with the MAG251RX, we had to disappoint him, but now, oh.
There you go.
Yeah, I just grabbed the monitor so you can see where I put my fingers. Always lovely. So here you really have the full flexibility of rotating this however you like. Swivel, tilt, rotate.
And if you missed it, also height adjustable. Exactly. This one can spin, yes.
So
yeah, you'll have to forgive the fingerprints, guys. We can't do a hands-on stream without actually getting our hands on it. So.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to grab a glove next time.
Yeah,
that might help.
Gloves indeed. Some nice white gloves,
Definitely.
Classy.
Okay, so any specific that you guys want to see regarding the outside of the monitor, just let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to plug it back in because I just really enjoy the RGB coming out of it.
Yeah, I think most people agree. They also like the RGB. Does it rotate the full portrait? Yep, Robert, you must have missed it. But just now, Ja showed it, and actually you can rotate it both ways.
Make a little bit of room. So this is the 27-inch 274 QRF QD. Now, this is perhaps one of the most impressive gaming monitors that we have ever produced when it comes to really the screen epicness. Now, the color accuracy here and the realism is just off the hood. So let me get into a few more details regarding its specs and features, because doing it this way is just a lot easier. Now, shit, I have to unplug it again. Yeah.
Oh, does it have a VESA wall mount support, this one?
It does.
There you go.
Wait, I don't have to unplug it because I can just cut it off.
Yes.
All right. Let's go.
Can it rotate 360 degrees? I love John's response to it. No, it doesn't. It cannot go upside down, but why would you want to do that? Anyway.
People's minds,
sometimes
they really surprise you.
Sometimes you want to be able to do something just for the sake of it, not because you actually want to do it, or, I don't know, who wants to play games upside down? It would be interesting, but...
I can definitely see some Twitch streamers doing some challenge, like, winning a game upside down. My first Win.
It's almost like, I've seen people play FPS shooters on a Dance Dance Revolution mat, using that.
Right.
That's freaking next level challenge.
That kind of stuff.
Turning the display upside down will add to that. That's definitely.
Yeah, don't underestimate it, guys.
No.
Okay,
Anyway.
so here again we have some summary of the main specs and features of the
And I need to switch
274
this tag.
QRF
Here we go.
Now, again, this is also a it can be an esports model. Well, it's not specifically like as esport as the other one, the MEG 251 RX with 240 Hz. This one is also very capable of doing esports games, an esports model, but here you can really also shine with AAA title games where the realism is very important, where the color accuracy is just really important, and having this vivid and lifelike visuals on your screen pop out, that's really where this bad boy shines. So, besides the rapid IPS, I mean, if some of you guys just joined, I'm not going to explain in details every little detail feature again because the rapid IPS, some features are already explained with the MEG 251 RX. But if you still have question marks regarding them, if you really want to know, just drop in the chat. I'll try to get to it if I can. But
supports FreeSync and just jumping right in. It supports FreeSync and GSync. I think this one is, as it says, GSync compatible.
Yeah.
But I think that also means that it uses the variable refresh rate, which also means I think you can use it with FreeSync, correct?
Yes, definitely.
So both, basically.
Yeah. So if you have a AMD GPU, no problem, and if you have an NVIDIA GPU, but you will have to support it. So I believe it was from the 10 series, right? You will support the 10 to so. 20 and 30.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it also has the rapid IPS. Just very briefly, what this means is that it will the liquid crystal within the screen, the panel, it rotates 4 times as fast as the regular traditional IPS. So this will in turn give you more benefit when it comes to how responsive the screen is, how fast it is, how less blur there is. So generally, just a better experience for you. Yeah, the quantum dot here is really something new. In the TV industry, it has been there. Not that long, but for gaming monitors, it was quite a new feature. So what quantum dot? Well, I have more information regarding this later, but in short, it means that your screen will have like really the best possible color accuracy and reproduction. That's going to be so accurate. It's like on professional level. So when you're like a creator, that's like the kind of level you're sitting at. So you can really make sure that when you are the kind of gamer to enjoy the lifelike visuals from the good-looking games out there, Red Dead Redemption 2, like that game looks, whenever you're talking about Cyberpunk and stuff like that, if you have these kind of games, you really want to also make sure that you can fully enjoy what you're seeing, and that's really where this will pop off. Yeah, well, this one is not Full HD, it's Quad HD. Also instead of 240 Hz compared to the 251 RX, it has 165. The golden standard right now, well, the majority of the screens out there, they all have like 144, but we're just pushing this a little bit more in the same category and give you more FPS. Refresh rate. So here we have 165 instead of 144. So that's where you really should compare this with. You should not compare this with like 240 Hz. For the response time, it's also 1 millisecond gray to gray. And Peter just mentioned this a little bit before. So this one is NVIDIA GSync compatible. So it has the official certification. It passed all the tests from NVIDIA to be labeled. Oh, I don't know why it does this.
No idea.
So it has the official certification for GSync compatible, which means you can use it for FreeSync and you can also use it for GSync with the NVIDIA GPU if it's like supporting the compatible function. So moving on then, we also have the GameOSD app, and as I just briefly showed you guys, it's fully adjustable whenever it comes to the stand. You can use the however you like it, whatever angle it is that you like it. You can also take it off and then you can mount this on your wall or your VESA mount arms and stuff like that, because it has a very normal and standard 10 by 10 centimeters configuration. Yeah, so that's for the main specs. Now, if I get into a little bit more details regarding if this is like not what you're looking for, that's possible. That's all fine, because here you're really looking at the best tech in this category possible. And if you're also, for example, saying like, okay, right now I don't have, I have a low budget, so because this one will come at around 500 and 550, depending on where you are. Can be less, can be more. Same story, euros or US dollars. Now, if you are saying like, okay, but I don't have that much to spend at the moment, but I still want to have this epicness, well, you can look at other models in the same lineup for this monitor. So they all more or less have quite the same values and specifications when it comes to the panel, what it can do, but it's going to differ in some specific areas, and that might be just exactly what you're looking for. So this is the QD version with quantum dot. But if you don't want to have the quantum dot function, if you're like, hey, I prefer to play some eSports, for me, I don't need the realism as much as this monitor can offer. You can go for the non-quantum dot version, which is going to be the regular QRF. And this will, of course, also be cheaper than the QD version. Now, the main differences between these two is really there's no quantum dot, so that's the only difference between these two options. So like I said, if that's nothing what you're looking for, not something you're looking for, go for this. And if that's like even not what you're looking for, because hey, I don't need 1440p, I think 1080p is already enough details for me, even on 27 inches. If you're fine with that, of course, that's all fine. It's all personal preference. And we know Michiel is like play on 24, 25 inches, and he even needs to have like 1440p, because it doesn't take, it's just not fine anymore for him to have like full HD on 24, 25 inches. But like I said, this is exactly what I meant. Everyone has its own preferences. If you want to have 1040p, 1080p, 27 inches, that's fine. We have this in the regular MAG 271R. SKU. So that model will still have the benefits of the FPS, and then instead of 165 Hz here, but then you do have 144, but it's not going to be like a heavenly difference between 144 and 165, so you're not really lagging behind too much at all. So pretty much the specifications of the screen, the panel, except for the quantum dot, you still have really great color reproduction and the color accuracy with a wide color gamut. So as for syncing, well, that's where you will really notice the difference. So if you have like an NVIDIA GPU, here you don't have the function, the feature to use the FreeSync, because here it's the FreeSync Premium variable sync technology. You cannot sync this with your NVIDIA GPU.
You can still try, but it's not certified.
But it's not officially
so
certified.
So it might have some issues, but yeah. Anyway.
So, and that's the same case with the regular 274. So you have the 274R with RGB, or you have the regular 274 without RGB. And these two, there's pretty much no difference except for the RGB. So whatever it is that you might need, or budget-wise, there is a model that's going to fit you for sure.
Within the 27-inch range, there's a lot of choice, as you can see.
Yeah. And this is only like our latest series, so our latest lineup. Now, so this is a little bit of an overview. If you have a question about this, holler at me in the chat. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested, because if you don't want to take my word or our words for it, you can later, after the stream, go to YouTube, because Hardware Unboxed did a very unbiased and very specific review of this specific model. If you don't want to hear our words, you can go listen to him and hear what he has to say.
These guys are usually very thorough.
Very critical.
And we when we just started doing monitors, of course, there was also a lot for us to learn about it, and some of their reviews actually helped us to learn more about what is important and improve our product. So the great work by those guys, and we really appreciate it. And their reviews are usually one of the most thorough that you find, at least about the gaming monitors and stuff like that.
And critical.
So definitely advise you to go over there if you're interested in it at all.
Okay, so just briefly inform you guys, because we know from our experience and from data, the majority of the gamers are still playing on 1080p resolutions and monitors. Now, what you're really gaining here when you go from 1080p to, because the market really is kind of shifting towards 1440p, but that's really in the case of monitors that majority or mainly are being used for AAA titles, where you really want to be so precise with the pixels. So what you're really gaining here is about a 78% increase in pixels. So from 1440p to 1080p, it's like a huge step forward whenever it comes to clarity, because there's like so many more pixels being prompted into your frame. So it's going to be much clearer. Of course, that's also going to depend on what size you're using. So if you have 1440p on a 27-inch or 1440p on a 34-inch, of course you're going to see a difference because the pixels have less real estate to. On the 27-inch, it has less real estate for it to stretch. Now, the bigger your screen size, real estate, the more the pixels will have to stretch, so it will become less sharp.
So this is PPI, pixels per inch, for example. I saw some people talking about this earlier in the chat as well. So it really depends on your preference. So for some people, big monitors with full HD resolution is fine. But for a lot of people who want the sharpest possible image, well, then what you want is, if you are going for, I don't know, 27-inch or something, you want to have at least 1440p or QHD or higher. Because simply put, it will result in a much sharper image.
Yeah, so the pixel density is really kind of personal preference, but
yes,
when I said the market was shifting towards 1440p, I don't mean like on every size. Why the market is shifting towards 1440p is because mainly the sizes are also getting bigger. So 27 inches are very, very common nowadays. Now on these kind of sizes, it turned out that there are people, or many people, that really do prefer to have 1440p instead of 1080p on this kind of sizes. But that doesn't, of course, speak for everyone. So now, if you're more like a old school eSporter fanatic, you generally stick to 24, 25 inches. But that's, of course, not a rule. That's just how people are up to now, like really got used to. Also in the pro world, that's what they always use. And in these kind of sizes, it's more common to have 1080p, especially if it's for eSports. You don't want to have 1440p because that's going to have a drastic difference or impact on your performance, on your FPS. And in eSports, FPS is really what you really want to have as the highest. That's why people always play on potato graphics, setting everything to lowest. Yeah. It's it's on the brink of being Minecraft, but the FPS is awesome. Yeah. So really, it's for an entirely different purpose. So that's why 24 or 25 inches and 1080p is like the golden combination for esporters, because of the FPS, the impact on the FPS, and also the screen real estate. So you don't have to, go left and right. You really have to, the travel distance is much less. So it's going to be easier for you to see your entire screen of what's going on and being able to react whenever you need to, faster. So yeah, if you're going to 1440p, it's a huge increase in pixels. It's going to be sharper, but of course, the bigger your size, the less sharp it gets. And 27 inch, that's kind of like the golden combination. Just in case people have missed this, if you just joined, because we talk about FPS or refresh rate a lot, why it's important is that it really makes your screen, I'm not going to repeat everything, but it's really going to make your screen more smooth. It's going to be more comfortable for your eyes to look at, to experience. And generally, it's just going to give you much more competitive edge because it's less choppy. There's so many more frames prompted per second into what you're seeing. It's going to be just like what you're seeing here, so much smoother and sharper when you're moving around. So it's going to be better to track your opponent. It's going to be better to track your own spray pattern. It's going to be better for you to generally just aim around. So I believe this is the last one. So you can really see, for example, if you compare like 144 and 60, there's like such a big difference in just how choppy 60 feels like and looks like and actually is compared to 144. And if you really want to get like even higher, even smoother, you go to 240.
Yep. 230 hertz does look great. But I mean, some people have been saying indeed in the chat also, like, okay, 240 hertz, and there are monitors with even higher refresh rates on the market, or coming up at least.
Yeah.
You know, how much will you actually notice from it? Because yes, going from 60 hertz to 144, that's a big difference. You will definitely notice that. Going from 144 hertz to 240 hertz, for example, is a bit more subtle of a difference, I would say.
Yeah.
But I've heard a lot of people say, and the same thing I've actually experienced as well, if you're getting used to a 240 hertz monitor and then go back to, for example, 144 hertz, 144 hertz is gonna feel slow. So that's really the biggest difference, I would say. It's just something that, you know, at some point you might not like actively notice it, but it does kind of get into your system. And once you change back to a lower, even though it's the 144 is still very fast, you will notice the difference then. So it's kind of like a standard you get used to.
All right. So rapid FPS, I think I already thoroughly explained this already, so I'm not going to explain this again. So what it really means is that the liquid crystal, it rotates faster than the traditional IPS, so that's why it's more beneficial for you when it comes to like blur and how smooth it is and responsive. So IPS panel, of course, I think by this point everybody already know the benefits of IPS, and really you're getting the best of both worlds when it comes to responsiveness, how fast it is with the TN and the colors. And you know, VA, just how better, you know, each has its own characteristics when it comes to contrast, you know, color reproduction, viewing angles, and IPS is really, you know, it keeps getting better and better and better. That's why nowadays more models and premium models are coming out with IPS, because you're really enjoying the benefits, well, the best of the both worlds from TN and VA. So the quantum dot technology, I briefly explained this, but in more details what this means is that this is really, like gaming monitors is quite a new technology and something quite exciting, because here you're really achieving the best possible, let's say, color accuracy and reproduction possible for a screen. Because here really everything, like for example, the DCI-P3, it's like 97% coverage. That's like already like above our average of like professional standard, because there it's like 95% plus. And so really you're getting something that has like so many more colors, and the color palette is very wide, giving you all this accurate reproduction of how it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to look like, really pop out all the realism. And really that's where this quantum dot technology within the panel, it's like so refreshing when it comes to realism, vividness, and accuracy for what you're looking at. So even if you want to do some professional work, you're good to go with this one.
Yep.
And we always try to well, implement our own true color. So this is like a white color gamut feature to enhance the colors even more, to really get you to, can pretty much not get better anymore at this point. Now, night vision, I think I already explained this again. So if you just joined, so night vision will intelligently look at the black part, expose the details, and not overexpose the entire image like a black tuner used to do. And this is, you know, by artificial intelligence. So you can also, whenever you don't like it, you can turn it off. When you like it, you can turn it on. Specific situations, you might not want it. So with a hotkey, that's very fast arranged. So yeah, that's for the 274 QRF.
Yeah, Megapet's asking, when will this model be available in the EU? I think, isn't it
this one is already available.
Yeah, I mean, again, sometimes it can take a while for stock to arrive. Perhaps the first batches have already been sold out. I don't know, but yeah, generally speaking, they should already be on the market. So
yeah, because this one has already been on the market quite some time now already, because it was already on the market like last year, December, and this is November-ish.
Yeah. But if you still can't find it, then hopefully the supply does improve in your region. Not sure where you're from, but you can always contact your local retailers and ask them, hey, do you know this model? Will you get it at some point? And then they will be able to tell you.
Okay. So if you still have any questions regarding the 271 QRF QD, drop them in the chat. But in the meantime, I'm just going to put this on the table.
All right, in the meantime, I think we can draw another winner.
Awesome.
So again, if you guys want to win one of the game codes, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, we're giving away a couple of them today. All you have to do is go to msi.com/2/insider or go to the link that's being posted in the chat every now and again by our bot. If you don't see the link, we are streaming on multiple platforms, so we advise you to go to either YouTube or Twitch. Those platforms usually allow links to be, well, copy-pasted by us and posted. Some of the other platforms sometimes block them. Yeah, let's draw another winner.
So, who do we have?
We have, our next winner is called Hussein. Congratulations, Hussein.
Hussein, it sounds like one of the regulars.
Yeah, indeed, yes.
Ah, he also used the loyalty bonus. Nice one.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it's the loyalty bonus that did it.
Congratulations.
Congrats. We'll get the code out to you as soon as possible. And for those who haven't won yet, make sure you participate, and good luck later on in the stream.
DC saying, let me win, haha. Well, unfortunately, it's out of our hands.
Yeah, it's a randomized script, so...
All right, so next up, the last model for today is, so instead of a GSync compatible, now we really have a true GSync monitor. So this really has a GSync control panel, so the chip within that really takes care of the syncing part. So it's not just a compatible. So if you remember the NVIDIA table for GSync, you have like the GSync compatible at the bottom. You have certain characteristics. Then you have the GSync, and you have the GSync Ultimate. And each will have like different specifications and characteristics that the other will not have. So this one is really a dedicated GSync monitor, and also 240 Hz. But more regarding all the detailed specifications in just a minute. So for now, as you might have already expected, going to show you how it looks like.
You might see some similarities between this one and the first monitor you showed.
They kind of have the same ideas.
Yes.
Both serving the same industry. They're more or less like cousins, or maybe even brothers or sisters, if you like, for whatever reason.
But there are some notable differences.
Yeah, so the main, well, not the main difference, but one of the big differences is that this one is really a true G-Sync monitor compared to the cousin right here, which is the G-Sync compatible. So you can also use it with FreeSync, so AMD GPUs. Now the other big difference is really the panel. Now I will get into that in just a minute. So first, let me just show you guys. Well, originally I tried to get this on, but you can't really see it anyways because this is green, representing NVIDIA's Team Green.
G-Sync.
But of course, it's being keyed away because of the green screen and etc. So this, was basically useless. So I just unplugged it. But yeah, here you have your RGB strip lighting. Again, button. The 5-way joystick.
I think also Visa mountable, right?
Yeah,
the square mounting.
Same. Yep. The standard 10x10. So here, one difference with the 251 is also there you have 2 HDMI outputs. Here you have 1. So you have a display port, HDMI, you have the headphone jack, and then power and a USB upstream. So again, here on the sides, we have the USB 3s. So 3 outputs for you to use. And if you want to use those, make sure to plug in the USB upstream because otherwise they will not work.
Yep.
On the front, it's very clean. Really make sure there's no distraction for you when you're trying to win your games. We didn't even put our logo in here. That's how clean it is.
Yeah.
There's no MSI to be seen. And the bezels, once again, just like with 251R, the ultra thin bezels, so pretty much not visible. If you, well, actually they're really easy to take apart. If you want to use, like, for example, VESA, all you have to do is like unscrew 2 screws instead of 4, so we try to make it easier. So for 1 here and 1 here. Once they're loose, you can just take it off because the top part is connected via 2 pins that you have to stick in. So that's how it holds itself on the footing. So really easy.
Yep. And as you can see, the foot of the monitor is different compared to the MAG 251RX, which we featured as first monitor in the stream. So that's also one of the easiest ways of telling them apart, apart from the big green NVIDIA GSync logo, of course, on the back of this one. But height adjustable tilt, as you can see.
Okay, and put this here. So that's for the exterior. Really quite reminiscing of what we have just seen on the 251.
Are the feet made from metal? I think on this one, yes. The bottom part is definitely metal, right?
Yeah, it's metal.
Yeah, but on the first
magnets.
monitor, so the one sitting right in front of Ja.
This one?
Yes, that I believe is plastic, but it does have a metal part underneath it. So
yeah,
it's not completely plastic,
it's like hardened plastic, but the bottom part is like metal indeed.
Yeah. Why not a symmetrical back? That's something that bothers me. I think it's intentional.
Symmetrical is old school.
Yeah, man. No, it's just, you know, you choose a design and you go for it. I mean, and we could have done symmetrical. I think, I'm actually not sure if we have any monitors. I'm just trying to think. I think most of our monitors are asymmetrical designs, correct?
Yeah. So either it's going to be a print that's different or alignment. Yeah, we don't. If I think really hard,
I think we want to make sure that they stand out because most, let's say, regular monitors, like you know, office type monitors of other brands, they do tend to be very symmetrical and you know, don't have that much features to them in the form of, you know, shapes or finishes. They're just very clean. Which is great for office monitors, for example. But for gaming, you do want to, you know, make it look a little bit more fancy, I guess.
Yeah, if you're interested, well, the only one that's close to 99% symmetrical is our MAG 301 CR, which is our 30-inch ultra-wide 1080p gaming monitor with 200 Hz refresh rate. That one on the back side is very symmetrical because it's very simple and flat, with a circled RGB ring in the middle, and that's it. So you can go check that out if you want after the stream.
Care Banog Rabbit. Do you have any monitors that can swivel to portrait mode while using the original base stand? Yes. Actually, the second monitor
the one before this.
Exactly. The second monitor we featured, the MAG 274 QRF QD. That one, indeed. Ja also even showed it, and he's going to probably show it again. There you go. Indeed. So it can swivel both ways in portrait mode.
Sad to hear you missed all the awesomeness of the 271 QRF QD.
Yeah.
But you can, of course, rewatch this after it.
I mean, Action Brother, this is really difficult. You can't please everybody. He's saying standing out is not always the best. If these monitors are cleaner, I wouldn't even think twice, indicating that he prefers a cleaner design. Sure, and you know, that's the thing. But in terms of, you know, we also try to look at the market, and we see most monitors have a very clean design already. So there's plenty of choice for you there. So you know, you also kind of want to offer something that looks somewhat unique without overdoing it. Obviously, I mean, you can also overdo it, which we hope we don't. But yeah, it's a decision, and again, you can't please everybody. But there's a hell of a lot of choice. We don't feature the same design on all our monitors. We have a couple of different ones, ranging from a bit more outstanding design to a bit more understated. So again, there's a lot to choose from. But again, the choice is ultimately up to you.
Yeah. Okay. So this one, promise guys, one of the few last slides, just for you to have a better visual of what they are, so you can remember better. So with this one, a few differences that are like really big compared to the cousin, the competitive, well not competitive, but GSync compatible version, the 251 RX. Well, first of all, is that it's 0.5 millisecond response time compared to 1 millisecond. So you guys, if you kept up with the news, you might have heard that there were just a few models coming out on the market which were achieving a 0.5 millisecond response time, really pushing the boundaries of how responsive the monitor, the panel can be, eliminating motion blur and ghosting, tearing, not tearing, and stuff like that. So this one, achieving the 0.5, twice as fast as the 1 millisecond, it was really quite a big, made quite a big noise in the industry. So this was one of the first few models on the whole market that achieved the 0.5 millisecond response time. Really gave you the best of the best when it comes to the response time. 240 Hz is same as the 251 RX, the GSync compatible cousin, and also here you have Mystic Light. So these are like main of the main features of the 252R, which is the GSync native GSync panel monitor.
So this one actually has hardware, a chip, a GSync chip inside the monitor. So
some people might be thinking, like, okay, what's really like the difference, quality difference between GSync compatible and real native with a chip GSync? So when you're talking about the native one with the GSync chip implemented in the monitor, that one has suppressed like more than over 300 image quality tests. It has improved calibration of the screen. So overall, there's a lot more certification and compatibility when you're talking about the native GSync with a chip inside than the GSync compatible one. So that doesn't mean that the GSync compatible is not going to work great with the NVIDIA GPU. It just means that the GSync native one is going to be even better. So here are a few of its specifications that you guys might be interested in, because people tend to ask at least one of these kind of specifications anyways. I'll leave you guys some time to read them. I don't really have to go over them one by one, so I'll, in the meantime, try to see what you guys have mentioned in the chat. Don't really have that much time for
that. I was also looking. I mean, there's a lot of questions in the chat. Thank you guys for that. I mean, we really like it when you guys ask the questions. Entropy Jock is asking, does it have anything for less blue light? Yes, although I've seen already in the meantime also some people asking about the night vision feature and asking what's the difference with Windows 10 night vision. Windows 10 is a less blue light feature, whereas our night vision is meant for games. Again, if you want to know more about that, Jack covered it to some extent earlier this stream, so you can watch that back. So there is definitely a difference, but we also have our own less blue light, or let's just say,
blue light filter.
Blue light filter, indeed. So yes, that is included as well, additionally.
Cool. So one of the most important one here is the nits. Of course, everybody cares about brightness. It's 400 nits, so most monitors in this they set between 300 and 400. So this one, with this one, you definitely have enough brightness for even for daytime. No worries.
Yes.
So the 0.5 millisecond great response time, and of course the surface. Even though this one is a TN panel, it still has the anti-glare, which with the traditional old TN panels, that whenever there's a little bit of a light source or different angle, the view it just becomes terrible to look at, because there's like a whole washed out area because of the environmental factors. Those are the most important ones here to mention. The rest, I think you guys, if you're interested, have already gone through. Don't have to go through them again then. I know if you guys have stuck along from the beginning, this is like the third time that you've seen this one.
Can we skip it this time?
Yeah. But that's only because we always have people tuning in, and they have missed many of the parts, and this is only like less than a minute, so I'm gonna show it anyways, so you guys that just joined can still have some better representation of what it means to have a high refresh rate gaming monitor, and what is really the benefit. What do you see? What do you not see? So 60 hertz. You can really see it's really choppy, and the higher you go, the less choppy it gets. So the smoother it gets whenever there's like moving parts, there's like motion. You're going to have a better time seeing clearly, seeing sharper. This in turn is going to mean that your experience, your gaming experience is going to be improved so much better. If you like, most of us are still like gaming on 60 hertz screens. So if you make that jump to like 144, recommend to 144, not 120 at all. There you like notice such a big difference. It's going to feel like you are more or less cheating, because that's how I felt when I first made the switch. Now, and if you want to have even more smoothness, as you can see here, if you compare 240 with 144, there's still a difference. Of course, not as much as the difference between 144 and 60, but there's still definitely a notable difference. Well, maybe some people don't notice it, some do, but that's like also personal. So I can't speak for everyone, but the benefit is definitely going to be there. So if you want to switch from 60, then you might as well go to 240 to really get most out of it instead of 144.
And they're quite, they're more and more common high refresh rate monitors like 240 hertz. So should be readily accessible, as in you should be able to get one.
Yeah. Okay. This one is really a big no-nonsense quality eSports gaming monitor, and especially if you're looking for a GSync variant. So there's still the joystick, so you can still enjoy the on-screen display with plenty of the gaming functions. For the rest, it's really a simple but packed with the top quality features and specifications that you want to have in the eSports monitor if you're really specifically looking for that kind of area.
And with the GSync, you can pretty much have the full range of FPS covered by GSync, by the synchronized image, so tearing should really never be an issue.
Nope. If you guys have any questions regarding this, fire at will. Otherwise, I'm going to show you something else, because there's an exciting, let's say, a big brother coming out.
Ooh.
Which is well, if you stick around in the coming few weeks, you're going to see my face again, and then I'm going to be showing you guys what the big brother is all about, because 360 is coming, baby. 360.
The big 360.
You might have already guessed it, it's 360 hertz. Now, if you thought 240 was already crazy, it's kind of already crazy for the standard of the market nowadays. There is going to be the 360. Of course, you might have already heard this if you read news, if you're in the tech world, and if you're a little bit nerdy like us.
NVIDIA also announced it with the launch of the RTX 30 series, right?
Yeah. It was coupled together.
Yes.
Of course, I don't have the model right now here, but I can definitely show you guys a little bit regarding, what can you expect, some specifications, and then, hopefully I'll be seeing you guys again when I have the model and I'm streaming it.
No, not hopefully. Rest assured, when we do get it, we're going to stream the crap out of it.
So here, I'm currently at the landing page of the new. Yeah. So instead of the 252R, it's going to be the 253R. So 2, 3, meaning it's the next generation, so like the bigger brother. And here really, the biggest change, whenever it is, if you look at the previous one, so this one at the moment, is going to be the panel and the refresh rate.
I'm already seeing, Merrick was asking if it's IPS or TN, and Alan said it would have to be TN. Actually, no, this is an IPS. There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, of course, once again, this is a natively GSync enabled monitor, so it's not just compatible, but it really has a chip. And
no, it's not 4K, by the way. I've seen
no,
some
not
people
4K.
asking that. 4K, 360 hertz. I mean, to be fair, what would you like to power that with anyway? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, right,
Remember, it's only 25 inches.
yeah, yeah, but still, I mean, 4K at 25 inches, really? It's kind of like having a 4K phone display. Are you really gonna notice the difference at that size?
Exactly.
I don't know.
So guys, remember, because these kind of monitors, they really serve a purpose. So it's not, so especially with this one, it's not like a all-round one like the 27.4 QRF QD, which you can use for eSports and also for AAA games, enjoying the best realism and colors and stuff like that. But this one is really like very specific for eSports.
Exactly.
Where you're really cranking up the FPS to 360 and plus. And yeah, so that's really where it's going to shine the most. And then again, like I briefly mentioned earlier, in the esports world, preferably you're going to have a 24-25 inches monitor. Of course, it doesn't mean that you have to stop there. You can go to 27 inches, you can go for 32, maybe even 34, ultra wide, that's all your preference. But generally, people tend to stick to 24-25 inches because, the less screen real estate, the better you can see everything the fastest from one angle to another. So also coupled with a high refresh rate, you don't want to have like 1440p, especially at 25 inches, because that's only going to impact your FPS performance. So really, if we couple all the factors, this is really very specific and has its purpose for esports.
Yeah, it's optimized for that.
And yeah, you guys may also
people
be familiar with NVIDIA Reflex latency analyzer. That's also going to be implemented in the next generation.
Exactly. So
very soon,
Sofian Ari was asking mouse latency too. This is the part you want to pay attention to, because this is going to be indeed all about the mouse latency. And we actually have a mouse coming up, which will also feature in one of the upcoming streams, which is officially certified for NVIDIA Reflex. And not just NVIDIA Reflex itself, but the latency analyzer. So the difference here is, NVIDIA Reflex can be used on multiple monitors, of course, but with the latency analyzer, the difference that makes is that you can actually, the monitor has some hardware inside which allows you to display the latency on the screen. So you can actually keep it on the screen like an on-screen display feature and see in real time what the latency is. So if you want to know about that, and that's a really awesome feature, and it's only, so far at least, it's only going to be available on this monitor, so on our 360 hertz monitor.
Yeah. I see Foxcore is asking, which video card do you offer to reach this hertz? So I suppose you were talking about 360. Well, that's going to heavily depend on what kind of games you play.
Yes.
So if you're playing like really the newer titles, really the visually more impressive titles, or esport titles where the visuals are very, let's say, comparatively weak, and what kind of resolution you're playing at, because everything is going to play a big part in how your GPU or your CPU combined is going to push out the FPS. So if you're playing on 1080p, it's very important that you have a very capable CPU. And if you go higher in the resolution, you're playing 1440p, it's going to be much more GPU bound. And if you're playing 4K, it's going to be heavily and mainly GPU bound. But you still need to have, of course, a adequately capable CPU. So I can't really say what combination is going to give you 360 hertz, because that's going to depend on the game. If you're playing CS:GO, even 1080p, if you have a quite recent CPU in the last 2-3 years, and with a GPU that's entry to mid-level, if you set everything low on your CS:GO, you can already achieve 200 FPS plus. Maybe close even to 300 on average. So if your hardware is a little bit more recent, a little bit more powerful, mid/high entry, then you can definitely enjoy 360 Hz with CS:GO, for example. Now CSGO is one of the games where you can have like the easiest time achieving high FPS. So Rainbow Six Siege is going to be more different. It's going to be more intensive because there it's harder to achieve such a high FPS. So really, you know, per game it's different, per hardware is different, per size, I mean resolution, it's different. Yeah, but I hope I kind of gave you like an idea of how you can find out.
In short, at 1080p and with most competitive games, the GPU is actually not going to be the most challenging part to reach up to 360 hertz or frames per second, I would say. It's mostly your CPU actually, and not even how many cores, because most games don't even use that many cores. They can use, I don't know, up to about usually 4 or 6 cores so far. But really what makes a big difference is the IPC, or basically the instructions per clock cycle. So that's also why, for example, some of the more recent CPUs will get you the higher frames per second in competitive titles, almost regardless of GPU, as long as it's anything better than integrated, I guess. In most titles. But again, there are exceptions. It really differs per game. So it's hard to give one answer, like Ja already said, that covers everything. We can only give you very specific examples.
Okay, so yeah, the 253R, the 360 hertz version, is coming out in just a little bit under a few weeks time, and hope to yeah, be able to present that to you guys then. Well, now I'm going to show you guys, because we've talked about games a lot and FPS and stuff like that. You know, to answer the question of what we just talked about, this is going to help, because I will show you guys a summary of quite a few, yeah, games that were tested by Hardware Unboxed. So shout out to them. This is what they made. And
to be fair,
here
this is not really esports titles focused, right? This is a big blend of mostly actually AAA titles, if I remember correctly.
I went through the list of the games here being tested, but 95% were like new and AAA title games.
Yes.
There were like 2 or 3 games that were like esports, but so yeah, you have to keep that in mind. So this is really what you will encounter if you're talking about AAA title games, so modern games and stuff like that. So you can imagine, if you're mainly interested in like esports games, the numbers here are going to be much higher. So because it's a lot easier for the same hardware to render, you know, to get FPS out for the competitive titles compared to this kind of titles. Now, so if you're talking about 1080p, yeah, in average of 14 games that they tested, it's yeah, quite okay if you set everything to high to achieve quite the reasonable and very enjoyable frame rates. And I hope your GPU is in here somewhere. If you're talking 1440p, as you can see, it's going to be quite the change. Like we said before, also, if you're going higher in FPS, I mean in resolution, it's going to have an impact on your FPS. So that's why in eSport titles, you know, in eSport monitors, they tend to stick to 1080p, because it will give you more FPS. So here, with the same games they tested, on average, these are the numbers. Still quite okay. With a 1070, you can already have a 60 plus FPS experience. So, and if
John R's 3060 Ti, even though it's not listed in here, is good enough for esports. I think it's actually overkill. Yeah. that you know, 3060 Ti is actually quite powerful. I think, to be honest, even a 1660 or, you know, 1650 from last generation in most games should be plenty. If we're talking about 1080p resolution, 4040p, you might want to look into something just a little bit above that. But even then, you know, like a 2060, you know, last generation's card should be more than capable of handling that. But again, that's esports title, because that's what you asked.
And so yeah, once again, what we're looking at here are the more visually impressive titles, so not esports. So the numbers for esports would be much higher in this case for the same GPU. All right. So I hope this also gave you an idea of, if you want to choose 1080p or 1440p, you know, what you can approximately expect from the hardware side, because you do have to kind of match it. Yeah, and if you guys have more questions regarding all this, let me know. Otherwise, I think we're going to draw another winner and then enjoy some Viking actions.
Yeah,
Assassin's
you
Creed
lined up the
Valhalla.
game for us, so let's see if we can do that. Maybe then, oh no, actually, I was going to say maybe you can actually show the some of the effects. Well, maybe we can still do that, like the on-screen crosshair in the game, but also maybe some like the night vision.
Yeah, I can.
Maybe we can see it in real time. All right. So again, guys, we're giving away some free codes for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You can participate by going to msi.com/2/insider or clicking on the Gleam link that's being shared in the chat. Participating in some of the actions, the more actions you perform, the better your chance of winning. Don't forget to claim your loyalty bonus if you've participated more often in our giveaways. You'll be eligible or able to claim a loyalty bonus. You can do this every stream. So it's not like you do it once and then you've spent your points. I think you can spend them again with the next stream. So we're gonna draw our winner, and that is our 4th winner for today. And their name is Robs X Pro. Robs X Pro. So we're just going to call out the nicknames, obviously, because we don't want to call out real names. But we have your email address, so we'll make sure, for all the winners, by the way, so we'll make sure we email you the code. And yeah, have fun with it. Congratulations. We're still going to give away at least one more code, maybe 2, we'll see. Depending on how good Ja's doing or how much he sucks, we'll see. But yeah, congratulations, and let's see if we can see some gameplay. So Jazz just going into the gaming OSD to tune some settings.
Okay, let's go.
Rigged. Not really. It is really a randomized drawing script that draws a winner. So.
It's quite difficult to play on this one right now and then go home to my regular 144 hertz refresh rate monitor.
Well, that's what I said. You know, if you're getting used to a higher refresh rate, going back to lower, even if it's 144, you're going back to, which is still pretty fast, doesn't feel quite as fast anymore.
Yeah. And we did notice that with this game, it's hard to skip the intros. So, who of you guys have already been playing this game?
That's been out for a while now, right?
Yeah. I think about 2-3 months now.
I have to say, I haven't played it. I haven't really gotten around to it. But it does look pretty nice.
You have a legit reason to not be able to play the game.
It has a name.
It definitely has a name.
Yes. Okay. Ryzen 9 5900X and MSI B550 Unify, good combo. Whew, yes, definitely. Sounds like a really good combo. I think you'll have a good time with that. Also, which RAM do you prefer? If you are really wondering what kind of RAM is best for that motherboard and CPU, I do believe the newer Ryzen series benefit from faster RAM memory. So the higher speeds, the better. Not 100% sure on what the actual number is, but you can always check the website for our motherboard, so the MSI B550 Unify, and there it will show you which speeds it can handle and which are actually recommended. But also there is a QVL list, as it's called, qualified vendor list, so you can actually even check which of the RAM modules that you can buy have been tested and verified to work with this specific motherboard, just to make sure that you can be sure it works out of the box, basically. But that sounds like a very sweet setup. Yes.
So now you guys have seen all the settings. So pretty much everything maxed out. Yeah, and I know that mini games they put high somewhere in the middle, so they still have like super high or like and then ultra and stuff like that. But here with Valhalla, really high here is the highest. So
I like what Nicholas is saying. Guys, my respect. You're trying to sell displays that look great at 240, so high refresh rates, basically, to people watching this video on displays or basically YouTube, which I think at the moment only supports 60 Hz. I think it might support higher, but we cannot stream it with higher refresh rates at the moment. It's like selling food that tastes and smells great through the internet, but you know that. I mean, I get your point. It's very hard to let you guys experience it, and that is indeed the challenge for us as well. So really the best advice that we can give you if you're even interested in one of these monitors is to see if you can have the opportunity to experience it somewhere, whether it be in a physical shop or maybe at one of your friends who might have one. But yeah, the best way of determining, okay, is this something for me and is this something I would notice, is to definitely try and experience it, because then you know for yourself. We can show you the specs and we can tell you how it feels for us and in our experience, but in the end, you're the one that will have to well, decide if you want this or not. And the best way to do that is to experience it.
come on. Well, he doesn't want to get off. Fine. Let me get off.
This reminds me of The Witcher 3, Roach. The horse that kept on spawning in impossible locations and on roofs and stuff like that.
This is so slow. Come on. Faster.
How do I claim loyalty bonus points for the giveaway? That only applies if you are a regular follower of our streams. So the more times you participate in a giveaway, I think it's starting actually from if you do it twice, then you will be already able to claim loyalty points. So you should be able to find it when you log into Gleam and then register for today's giveaway. You should be able to see if you have the ability to apply your loyalty bonus points if they apply to you.
All right, let's go somewhere.
How can I win the stuffed dragon? It's actually quite rare because we don't really sell them. I don't think, separately, but we do sometimes give them away, or used to, because it's been a long time since there was a physical event for me at least. But if you can find us at events, I don't know, like in Europe DreamHack, but in every region there will be different physical events, or at least I hope there will be again soon. And there usually there will be some giveaways or some random, those lucky dolls will be available. Not for purchase, by the way. I don't think I've ever seen us actually asking money for them. So yeah, you have to be lucky to get lucky. It sounds a bit strange maybe, but that's kind of how it is.
Okay, I think I have to cross the mountain. Ugh. I love the detail of the snow. Like whenever you walk, you.
How can he hear the game if he doesn't have headphones on? Yeah, that's a good point. He's actually not listening to it. I don't think, at least. But you guys should be able to hear it. So, and again, we stream for you guys, so it's more important that you can hear it than that Ja can hear it. Oh, damn!
Holy crap! Where you come from?
Okay, I think he wants a fight.
Where you go?
Yeah, there he is, Rudolph. Get back here!
Come here, Rudolph. Being a bad boy. Oh, now he runs away. Okay.
Sorry, why is your CPU temperature so high? 63 degrees is not that high, to be honest.
No. Right. Do you know what CPU is in here, boy? It's a 10900K.
Yep. So that's definitely one that can get hot if you push it.
Yeah, so this temperature is quite low.
And if you meant the GPU temperature, then 60 73, 74 degrees is actually not very high at all for a GPU, especially not an air-cooled GPU, which this is. So yeah, if you go upwards of 80, like 80, 85, even then it's nothing to be worried about. But the GPU might be, getting a little bit of a performance hit because it's trying to ensure that it doesn't get that much hotter. But no, low 70s is nothing to get worried about, and you should still have full performance. Beep beep, incoming deer. Exactly.
5A. Nah. 300, still 300 meters. I haven't been here before, so what you guys have for me?
Right. Oh, that's a nice one. Write the winner's name, the next winner's name in the snow. That's gonna take you a while.
I can try.
Yeah, are you seriously gonna try and do your own name?
Okay.
Ambient temp here in this room should be about probably 25 degrees Celsius. Actually, it might be higher because we don't have the air conditioning on.
One more mountain to climb.
When will well, a lot of questions about availability of our graphics cards. We know. There's not a whole lot we can do about it. The demand is overwhelming. Trust me, we're making the cards as fast as we can and trying to get them to every shop as fast as we can. But yeah, I mean, if the demand is this big, it doesn't really matter how many cards you produce. There's just, yeah, it's just how it works at the moment. Yeah, I guess we just have to be a bit more patient.
I guess this is a northern light before it was cool. 130, almost there.
What specs are we using? I have to call this out because the name is that you have is really good. MSI Gaming is epic. Some guy actually has the YouTube name of that. But it is a good question. What specs are we using, Ja? You already mentioned the CPU is an i9 10900K.
Yes, and for the GPU we have the RTX 3080, our Ventus 3X.
Yeah, and it's actually inside a Aegis Ti5. Yep. So this is one of our pre-built systems that you can also find on the website, of course. So if you go to Amazon.com, Aegis Ti5, it's I dare say one of our most, or if not the most high-end system we have at the moment.
Yeah, it's if you want the best features and the highest performance in our desktop lineups, you go to the Ti5.
Yes,
that's its motto. I kill everything.
What keyboard are you using?
GK50 Elite, if I'm correct.
Yes. Maybe we can show a detailed cam. Here we go. GK50 Elite. We also did a full stream and we have some videos online about it. But the short version is it's a mechanical keyboard with boxed keys, or sorry, boxed switches. So that means they're very sturdy, also quite resistant to dust and everything like that. So very durable. It is one of my favorites as well. Full RGB. Yeah, not too many, fancy things that you don't need. Really focusing on the essentials. Just a really freaking good keyboard and a really good deal as well.
If you want to hear it, close up.
Yeah. It is clicky, by the way, if you haven't noticed. Yes.
Don't you love the clickiness of the keyboard?
It is, yeah. But again, if you want more information about that, you can look it up. We have a full stream. Last year we had a full stream about this keyboard covering all the details. So please look it up if you want to know more about it.
Oh, I'm definitely interested in the story.
So interesting.
I just read really fast.
I mean, normally you'd really want to, it helps for the immersion and really get into the story, but during a live stream.
I know, I mean, you guys just want to see me like hack and slash, right? It's just not why you...
I saw nothing.
Are we next to each other or not? That's actually a good question. No, we have kind of superimposed me. Ja is actually behind the desk. Me, I'm actually, as you can see, it stops here. I'm sitting, I think it was like at least 5 or about 7 meters apart from each other. So no, we do make sure to keep the social distancing and keep our distance from each other.
Hey, maybe you guys can help me. I forgot what I was doing.
Oh, maybe you should listen to the story.
Sigurd,
Isn't there like a quest or a mission
when
thing
did you
anywhere?
arrive?
Yeah, I'm doing this right now.
Okay,
So I think I have to follow him with the badass wolf.
probably.
Looks like Jon Snow right there. It's just I can run in this snowstorm, which is not so convenient. A magical pond.
What is this?
Looks quite intense cold. Damn, is he walking across the water there?
Jesus.
He was. Oh, actually, okay. I thought this was like deeper.
Wait, where'd he go?
I don't know, I saw him cross the water, but then after that I kind of
I guess he went here.
didn't see.
Follow the candles. I
Your
guess.
monitors have G-Sync and a temp sensor? No, Mark, and this is the overlay of MSI Afterburner. So it has a feature called OSD, or on-screen display, which lets you display information about your key system metrics like GPU performance, temperature, fan speeds, even wattage usage, as you can see, frames per second, all kinds of stuff, and you can fully customize what you want it to display on the screen, what color, how big, which corner of the screen. So you can fully customize pretty much everything, and that's what he's using to give you kind of an overview of how the system is handling this game. Playing story mode without headphones, you're a
Saw
legend.
the gates to Odin's hall.
What graphics settings are you using? Ja did a quick overview of most of the settings just before he went into the game. So if you want to know exactly the graphic settings, you can
I saw
you
Odin.
can go back in the stream
It's
after the
pretty much
stream.
everything
spinning
maxed
the
out.
threads of
But
fate.
it's pretty much maxed out settings indeed.
No, Odin.
Oh, I read so fast. It's inhuman.
Sebastian, I don't want you to think we
Hey.
are trying to duck your question
Question,
because
please.
I saw you asking it a few times. His question is: do we use Insta packs or any kind of padding inside the pre-built systems to secure the hardware parts when shipping them? Because some of the graphics cards recently are quite heavy and big, which is true, and he's worried or has at least some question of they potentially could get damaged. It really depends what kind of system, because if you're talking about, for example, an Aegis Ti5, then trust me, the system is built in such a way that all of the components, and especially the graphics card, is really wedged into a specific place, so it doesn't really have anywhere to go or wiggle. There's really no room for it to move. But in a more traditional build where the graphics card is sitting horizontally onto the motherboard, we also deliver support brackets, at least for all the 3-fan cards. So no matter if it's Gaming, Supreme, or Ventus, all of them have a bracket. And so they should be pretty secured. And as for your question of what kind of padding is used inside, I have to say I'm not entirely sure. So that's something I won't be able to give you an answer on today. Ja, I don't know if you know more about that.
Sorry, which one?
What kind of padding, if we use any padding at all, inside some of the systems, for example, an Infinite, which is a more traditional layout PC. What kind of, do we use any kind of padding inside to prevent any kind of damage during transport, or? It's a very specific question, I know. But
I must say that there's tons of padding around the PC, but inside the PC there's no padding, because all the parts inside the PC, they're not movable, because the GPU, which is more or less the only part that can move around because of its size and weight.
Yes.
But that one is always being vertically integrated very firmly. So
there you go.
yeah.
And in most, like I said, in most of our other PCs, like the Aegis Ti5 or Trident systems, which are also smaller in size, we have a very specific place for the GPU, and trust me, if you see it, and you can rewatch streams from the past, those GPUs are so tightly put into place that they really don't have any wiggle room during transport. So there's nowhere for them to go.
Is he walking in his sleep?
Did I conquer this one? No, I haven't. All right, guys, it's time to fight. I forgot if I can fall to my death, so let me test it out. Oof. Okay, that's a lot of damage.
For the GPU, 75 degrees is a good temp for a long time playing. I mean, it's nothing, I wouldn't say it's something to get worried about, but it also depends on your GPU. I mean, if you're talking about, for example, a 3080 or 3090, which are quite powerful and use a lot of power, those can get a bit hotter. So for those GPUs, I would say, yeah, if you're playing for a long time, a long duration, and they only get up to 75 degrees, that's really nothing to get worried about. For a lower end GPU, if you, I don't know, if you're running like, I don't know, a 1050 Ti or 20, or sorry,
how can I get there fastest?
1650, for example, so it's a more entry level GPU. If those get, it's still nothing to be worried about, but if my entry level GPU would get that hot, I would, want to check, does it actually have airflow in the case, for example, because that usually doesn't happen for those GPUs. They don't tend to get that hot. But again, still, in the 70 degrees, it's nothing to get worried about because, again, I think the safe operating temperatures for a GPU is somewhere upwards of 90 and maybe even 100 degrees. And if it would get up to, for whatever reason, to a temperature that's considered unsafe or possibly harmful for the GPU, there are measures inside the GPU that would just make it turn off. So, yeah, there's nothing to worry about, I would say. And yeah, Sebastian, our 3-fan GPUs that we have do have an extra support bracket, basically, that you can mount, or sorry, that you can place under the GPU inside your case, which, again, it shouldn't really be necessary, especially not if it's just stationary, but if you are going to transport it indeed, there it could help potentially to ease your mind and make sure that whatever, if you hit a bump or something, that you don't have to worry about it moving or taking any damage or something like that.
Holy crap, Ivor is...
and pins can get bent, yeah, but I mean, it's
good at holding
there's
his
not really a
breath.
lot of pins to get bent on a graphics card.
So close.
TTV Monko, I know nothing about PCs, I'm learning new stuff watching. This is what I also really like about our channel and most of the people here as well. If you ask a question in the chat, I mean, we will try to answer as many questions as we can, but we also notice that, you guys are also answering each other's questions,
really appreciate that.
we really think is cool. So, yeah, thanks for that. And, again, people just joining or just getting into PC gaming, we don't want to be like elitist, like, you already have to know everything or else there's no use watching our stream. No, it doesn't really matter if you're just getting into it or if you are, an expert and you know more about these products than we do.
Holy crap.
Yeah. We really like that there's like all shapes and sizes of people watching this channel. Yeah, but the one thing that indeed Riyard's goal that you should remember is never watch a video from The Verge on how to build a PC. That's like a golden rule. Even I don't even know if you can even still find it, but anyway. Should I place my laptop at an angle for better cooling? Generally speaking, laptops will have like perforated, holes in the bottom of the chassis, which allows it to get air. If you find your laptop is getting a bit hot, which can happen, laptops are very restricted in terms of cooling performance because they have a very small space that they can work with. Having something like either a laptop cooler or even just lifting up the bottom part of the chassis can indeed help for the laptop to get more fresh air and get temperatures down a bit. But if it keeps getting hot and you've had this laptop for a while or it's second hand or something like that, it might also be worth checking if there's like a lot of dust inside of it or something like that. That can also really hinder the thermal performance. Is it possible to get a dummy GPU from MSI? No, I mean I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know where to get one. We don't have them. We tend to make working GPUs, and the ones that don't, I have no idea what happens to them. I guess they get recycled or something.
Tough. 2 more to go.
Damn, Ja's really going for it, guys. Try hard.
Let's go.
Poggers.
Yeah, but now I need some health. And one more. Where did you come from? Oh, wrong button.
What, did you mean to offer him a beer instead of hacking him in the face?
Just wanted some cuddles, but I was
Come
heavily
here.
misunderstood. Oh, you. Wait, how do I heal myself again?
Doesn't it happen automatically after a while where you're just not in combat?
No, you have to use something.
Ooh.
Ah. Ah, I see.
Hey, you did a
Got
thing.
it. Oh, you're so dead.
Can you just, like I was gonna say, can you
Oh,
just kick
hello.
him off the... This is Sparta!
Let's go! Hello! Yeah.
Alright, I think it's time for another winner. What do you say? Oh, and by the way, would it be possible to quickly show everybody some of the functions on the monitor, the OSD? So, for example, how you, well, this isn't really the game for it, but still, like the crosshair. And also maybe if you could find a dark place to see the difference that night vision makes.
I mean, really gotta go look for a dark place though.
Is there maybe a cave or, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. Oh, maybe inside the building.
Let's see.
Dolphin Tornado. I once dropped my 2080 Ti Gaming X Trio. I didn't know Linus was watching our channel.
What?
Just kidding. But yeah, that must have felt awful. I mean, I would probably have a heart attack or something if I dropped something like that. But yeah, I hope it survived. All right. Maybe can we? Because I don't think it shows up. Should it show the effect on the capture for night vision? I'm not sure.
That's
try
actually
it out.
actually a good question.
Go inside the building and then toggle it on and off, and we'll see if we see a difference. If not, then we'll turn the monitor and see if you see the difference then. Can you?
I mean, you definitely see the difference,
make a
but I'm not
hotkey
sure
for
if
it?
you see it on the screen because I see it.
Can you make a hotkey for it? Or like a profile?
Let me get rid of some of the stuff that's unnecessary.
Blitzend Ladung is asking a little question. He has an AMD Ryzen 7 2700X and he's wondering if it's worth to update to the Ryzen 7 5800X. It really depends on what you're playing. Generally speaking, for AAA titles, probably you wouldn't notice too much if you play at 4040p or 4K, because you're probably not CPU limited. But if you're going for max FPS in competitive titles like CS:GO, then there is somewhat of an increase or jump in IPC or instructions per clock. So that means it's more efficient. So yeah, you might notice some difference there, maybe even up to, I don't know, 20, 25%, maybe more. But yeah, it's all down to you if you think it's worth it or not, and down to the specific case you're looking to improve in. We cannot see that effect in detail as our screens are. No, I'm just seeing if there's any difference that you can perceive at all with this profile.
Okay.
Are you toggling?
So this right now is off.
Yes.
Now I'm going to turn it on.
Yeah, I don't see any change.
You don't see it?
No. So maybe we need to,
can
use
the
turn the
webcam.
monitor? Yeah.
We need to use the webcam.
So this is also something, again, that doesn't show on the capture process, but it does show on the monitor itself. Here we go. I think we need to, just grab it close and focus on the dark area. And rotate the mouse a bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And remember, guys, we're really sorry, but it's really bright in here in this room because we are recording with cameras. But watch the dark spot there, yeah. And Jazz now going to toggle night vision. There you go. Did you guys see this? So now you can see there's actually wood, logs stacked inside the shed.
So let me turn this off.
There you go.
See, it's everything. This is normal.
Yes.
And now I'm turning it on. Now you can see there's wood, there's ground, there's detail, and you can see that the rest of the lighted area is not being overexposed. Yeah.
There was a little difference, indeed.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's completely washed out, indeed. So. But yeah, this is exactly where you can see the difference. So if you want to be able to see what's inside that hut from the outside, that's quite useful. And it doesn't mess up the rest of the visuals.
Let me see, maybe there's another area where this can become a little bit apparent.
CRM is asking, would a 3060 Ti be capable of running games at 4040p, 144 Hz? It really depends on what kind of games you're looking for. Some games, like CSGO, yes, but you wouldn't even need a 3060 Ti for that. But other games like, I don't know, Cyberpunk, probably not, no. So it really depends on what kind of games you are looking to play on 4040p. And aiming for 144 Hz. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's the on-screen. Rectangle. Anyway, and I can show you guys. I can switch between the capture. So, John, if you leave it on the screen, there is. Just leave it on the screen. Yeah. So as you can see, there is a crosshair now on the screen. There you go. And if I go to the capture, you don't see it. But if I go back to the camera, you can see it. So it's done on a monitor hardware level. All right, let's draw our final winner for today, I would say. And
I think I'm getting ready to take the monitor home with me anyway, so.
You weren't going to do that anyway? Just sneak it out?
I wasn't thinking that, but then I read a comment saying, somebody saying, hey, you can just take it home, after work. I was like, yeah, why not? I just got to bribe Peter, so.
I need to work from home. All right, anyway. Our final winner for today also wins a. Let me go back to the main view. Wins a Assassin's Creed Valhalla game code, and his or her name is
Congratulations,
Jeremy with a G.
Congratulations.
So Jeremy, congrats. Yeah. I hope you guys had a lot of fun this stream. I hope we gave you guys some useful information. Hope we answered most of your questions. Again, it's impossible to answer all the questions. The chat just keeps scrolling like that, so we're just trying to keep track and answer anything we can. And yeah, let us know if you have any other questions. If you're watching this video afterwards, after we're done streaming, and you have any questions or suggestions, leave questions in the chat or in the comments, and we'll see if we can pick them up. Thanks for watching. Next week, we're going to be talking about, as much as we possibly can, what kind of hardware is coming up later this year. So some of it will be stuff that's been announced at CES, for example, but some of it might not be. You're just gonna have to join to see. But I can guarantee you, we will try to provide also more information. So we won't just repeat any information that's already out there. We will also have, hopefully, some samples, so we can do some hands-on stuff with new products or products that are coming up. Yeah. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of the stream, right? We go much more in depth and hands-on. So
we try to.
It's not just a hey, this is coming up, and look forward to it.
Exactly. Anyway, so guys, we hope to catch you next week for some new product information. And for now, thanks for joining.
Yeah. Hope you have a good day. Stay safe.
Exactly. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Cheers.